and good morning, everyone. I'm your host, Ellie 4K, and it's my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to the grand final of the Grand Melee Tournament. The Order of the Sheep have gathered us in Hannover, Germany at DreamHack for the very first time. And we're going to see 4 of the remaining players in this tournament battle it out for the massive $100,000 prize pool. We have Leary, in the third place match, Tato versus his teammate, the Viper. And then in the grand final, we'll have Hera versus his teammate, Leary. And that means players know each other's play styles really well. They know their strengths, they know their weaknesses, and no doubt will we see some really high-level competitive gameplay. Artosis, run us down how today will look like.
Thank you very much, Ellie. Day number 3, the final day of the Grand Melee, and I am joined here by Ornlu and Dave. Dave, how are you enjoying DreamHack so far?
I like DreamHack. I've never been to a DreamHack before, and having Age of Empires 2 as part of this convention is amazing. I know it's going to be a busy day today, the first weekend, the Saturday of the event, so I'm anticipating seeing lots of familiar and not so familiar faces in the crowd. Also, getting a vibe for like the LAN event back there. I went and checked that out yesterday. You know, seeing all the Age of Empires people gathered here participating in that tournament is pretty cool too.
Oh, absolutely. And Ornlu, this is your first DreamHack as well, right?
Yes, it is, and it is just amazing to be here. I'm really looking forward to see the huge crowd at this event. Just so many gamers concentrated in one location. It's hard to pass up.
Yeah, we actually got a surprisingly large crowd last night as well, so I definitely think it's going to fill up here today. We do have some amazing matches coming.
Fantastic stuff from Leary. He's going to be fighting against his teammate in the grand finals here, and Viper is going to be fighting against Tato. This third place match is actually kind of hype, though, because it is $4,000 on the line.
Oh, yeah. A lot of money on the line. Let's actually take a quick look at the bracket just to show you guys the shape of the tournament so far. Just as you guys went over, of course, Hera going to the finals along with Leary. That second match, a lot more competitive, I would say, than the first. Let's take a quick look at the schedule, just show you guys what times you need to be tuning in. We are going to be starting Tato versus Viper relatively soon here, and then at 2 p.m., we are going to go into that finals of Hera against Leary. What an amazing match that is going to be. Everyone's been saying that's going to go the full 9 games.
Oh, for sure. Those two, their teammates, as we keep saying, they practice against each other all the time. And even historically, they have a ton of really close games, a lot of different settings. They have somewhat similar play styles, Leary just being the bit more aggressive of the two. But it is going to be an absolutely sick finals, and I can't wait to watch it.
All right, well, let's start talking about our upcoming third place match, right? We have Tato going up against Viper. Obviously, yesterday, Viper looked a little bit stronger overall. Tato had a very rough semifinal match. Do you think that's going to play in today, Dave?
I think Tato and Viper are both excited. Like, Tato last night was actually strategizing and really thinking about what he could do against Viper. Also, they didn't practice really against each other leading up to this tournament, which I think is important. Tato was practicing with Doubt. Viper was practicing, I believe, with Jordan. They played one set against each other in the last few weeks, and that's it, which is such a low number for these two, right? So we're coming in here. Tato knows that Viper doesn't know all of his strategies, and Viper knows the same thing. So we're gonna see some new things out of the box here. I would expect Tato to get creative once again. He wants to prove that yesterday was kind of a one-off, right? He doesn't want to get swept again, for sure. And I think he really wants to take that third place trophy.
Oh, absolutely. Like you said, Dave, I mean, a $4,000 difference, $14,000 for third, $10,000 for fourth place. But look at these stats right here. Ornlu, does this surprise you that it's actually tied up 2-2 since 2021 with Tato actually winning more maps?
Well, it just goes to show that Tato really is just a resurging player these days. He won the last big LAN event. He is still a very competitive player versus the Viper. Sure, the Viper, he is known as the greatest player of all time, but still Tato, so smart strategically, and he's got the mechanical chops to compete with the Viper. I do think that this actually does have the potential to be both a close and a pretty long set.
If you guys had to guess the actual score line for this, where would you put it, Dave?
I would probably put it 4-2, or for Viper, I think would be a safe bet. I don't think Tato's getting swept at all.
Okay.
The interesting thing about this match is like the maps they're comfortable on are the same for both of them. So where do you go with your bans, right? If you're Viper, are you more comfortable on the open maps against Tato, and then Tato's a little bit more comfortable on the closed maps? I don't know.
What about you, Ornlu? Where would you put it at?
I do agree with Dave totally that these players' strengths are somewhat similar. I mean, they are teammates, they train together and have those similar styles, but at the same time, Tato may be a little bit more focused on the water maps, maybe something like graveyards that you're going to be playing just a little bit different on and can maybe catch Viper unawares, but we'll have to see what these civs and maps are going to look like.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for the analysis. We are ready now. Let's throw it up to Ellie and meet our players.
Thank you so much. We're just mere moments away from starting our third place match. And like everyone's been saying, it's going to be teammate up against teammate for both of our sets today. First up, let's introduce, I guess we don't have to introduce him. Everyone knows him by now. The Norwegian Viper. Please join me up on stage. Just off of his win here from Warlords and our previous S-tier tournaments for Age of Empires, and the S-tier before that was Wololo, where of course Viper's teammate Tato took home the gold. Tato, please join us up on stage. I am so excited to see this head-to-head. Viper, thoughts going up against your favorite teammate?
Well, I think Tato he wants to set things straight after yesterday, so I think it's going to be tough matches.
And how are you feeling, Tato? Are you up against your favorite teammate?
He will be really tough. He will be really tough. But I think it will be easy snake.
Easy, up against Viper, always easy. Do you think it's an advantage for you going up against Tato, knowing his playstyle so well?
No one knows his playstyle. It changes every tournament. Impossible to predict.
And what about you, Tato? Do you feel like you're really confident with Viper's playstyle, and can you expose his weaknesses here?
I think it's impossible. So that's I don't know. We will see on the spot, I think.
Viper's telling me it's a snack. It's a snack. So before we get started, last words for Tato before you sit down at your computer and start getting ready.
Yeah. Tato Cababrea.
Something Spanish. Tato, words for Viper before we get going.
Do you know how much that will roast whoever loses today, right? So there's a lot on the line.
I believe in the finals here, I heard Leary and Harris say, loser pays for Christmas vacation. So I don't know if you have some sort of a similar agreement, but definitely at least dinner, I would say. Artosis, back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Ellie. So the players going to get in their booths. We will start the draft momentarily. And you guys are already talking about it a little bit, that they're kind of similar. Like, how do you go about drafting correctly? What are you actually looking to ban out? Is it going to be the open ones? Is it going to be the closed ones? Ornlu, what do you want to see here out of Tato as far as the draft goes?
I feel like, as odd as it is for Tato, I think you want to ban those more closed maps. Viper is just almost unassailable in the late game. So if Tato, I think, can make things a little bit messy, that's not... I mean, this is all relatively speaking. Like, Viper can play messy games, but Tato, I think, might just be a little bit better at that. So if he can force Viper into those situations, that should be his best chance for winning.
Would you agree with that, Dave?
See, I was gonna say for Tato, he needs to start banning the more open maps, honestly, because I think Viper is a slightly better open map player than Tato. And I think Tato is going to determine the score of this set based on the Civ draft. Because he's going to need to not only ban the correct Civs from Viper, according to whatever Viper's home maps are, but he's going to need to draft Civs that are also kind of taking Civs away from Viper, right? And I think he should play more towards Viper's map selections than his own.
That's kind of interesting, because you guys are talking about how, you know, with their similar styles in a certain way, it's like, what maps are they actually going for? Could it almost be looked at like the home and away maps are a lot closer, like they're almost all home maps in a way?
Yeah, I think that This is very different than our two semifinals when it was GL versus AM. Those two sets both had players with very different styles. Here, the players have very similar styles, so it's going to be, I think, much more comfortable. I think we are probably a little bit less likely to see stuff like Land Madness and Atacama, but of course, these guys can play absolutely anything, so we'll have to see exactly what we have in store for us.
Yeah, the drafts have actually been one of my personal favorite parts, watching you guys analyze them. And one thing that has been said several times is Tato never has a poor draft. But I've heard a lot of praise heaped towards Viper as well. Is one of them better than the other? Are these like the best two drafters out there?
I think they're the best two drafters. Honestly, like Viper has the most experience drafting, especially live drafting, which I think is just on another level, right? Because you have all that pressure of not only being in a tournament stage, but everything being live. You know, that the production crew is telling you, like, we got to get started and everything like that. So it's just all these little things adding up, and Viper is so good under pressure. Tato is no slouch either, though, and Tato will have really thought about this, even though it's a third place match. Like, it's a big deal, right? He wants to prove that yesterday was kind of an anomaly, and he's not going to get swept again, and he kind of wants that extra $4,000.
Oh, yeah, of course. That is a huge paycheck. Actually, something that I brought up yesterday, I was a little bit surprised at the answer, but I want to ask it here again, because normally when you have teammates, like in an RTS game like StarCraft, you're going to see a lot of mind games come out because they know each other, how they play so well, right? So you can kind of throw some tricks in there, be like, he knows I play like this, so we're going to alter it in this way, right, and get a little advantage. Since they are on the same team and obviously play together a lot, is that something that we can see here?
Yeah, it's totally the case, especially with these two players that are so adaptable and like to play against their opponent. I think that we could see stuff that might not be the clearest. Of course, we have our two casters going to be Doubt and Jordan for this set. They are all teammates, so they'll perhaps have a bit more insight as to what exactly these guys have going on in their heads. But it'll be interesting to say the least.
I think like they play together, but they play against each other as much as they play together as well. Like we have a small, tight-knit pro scene in our top 8 or top 10 or what have you, and Tato and Viper have matched up a lot over the course of their careers, and I know that Tato has a strategy not only for other than GL players, but also for each individual GL player. I would imagine Viper, being the greatest of all time, automatically does that anyway as well. So I expect a bit more wild Civ selections from Tato, but I think Viper will have counter Civs to combat those.
Okay, and one more quick question before we get into the draft here. You and I actually rode over today with Tato in the taxi, and he was talking about how Doubt is his main practice partner. When you look at who their actual practice partners are, how much does that affect the actual upcoming match? Like, for instance, if a player plays like who they're playing against?
Well, I think it actually kind of benefits Tato a little bit, because if Jordan was, I hesitate to say this because Jordan is right over there. If Jordan was Viper's practice partner, who I think he was, Jordan is more of a meta player. He's less strategical than Doubt would be, right? And he's not exactly trying new things and out of the box. I'm not looking at yeah. So I think it kind of benefits Tato because Doubt is trying those new things, and they're going down all these different avenues, right? Together. So they've probably, branched out and thought about all these different possibilities a little bit more than maybe Viper has with his training partners.
All right, excellent. Very good to hear from you guys. Now, the draft is ready, so we're going to go ahead, jump into that. Please lead us through.
Well, we will have to see exactly what is in store for us. Both of these players, as we keep saying, similar styles. And here we are going to be getting right into the draft in just a second. There we go. Let's see what we have in store for us. Are we going to see those more closed maps, your arenas, your Ring of Reeds, or water maps? Like, hey, there we go. Viper immediately slamming down Arena as his very first pick. He wants to take it to late game versus Tato.
I want to see that Civ matchup on Arena.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very excited for that game because, like, Bohemians, Turks have been our primary selections there. We've seen some Cumans coming out, but I think that a lot of those Civs are going to be sniped or banned here, and I think Tato especially is going to have counter strategies for those Civ picks on Arena. Arabia has been picked by Tato, so your suspicion was correct. Tato's going to go for more of the open maps. Viper's going to go for more of the closed maps. Ring of Reeds being banned from Viper too, and Graveyard's being banned from Tato.
It's interesting that Viper would both pick the most closed map in Arena and then immediately ban the second most closed map in Ring of Reeds. So it really does go to show that these players have a bit of a different playstyle. And then he goes on to pick Land Madness.
So we're
most
I mean,
aggressive.
we'll just even it out between the two.
Yeah.
It just shows that like both these guys can play absolutely everything, right?
I mean, looking at all of the differences between these top players, I mean, we are really talking about the most minor, smallest percentage differences. Tato now going with Gold Rush as well. Kind of a more aggressive, but not super aggressive map. Really tactical with the gold, all being in the middle with the high ground. And then Viper going with the water map, Northern Isles. This does feel pretty on brand for a Gamer Legion player.
I would like to not see Goths this time, maybe on Northern Isles, or maybe land near. Nilly made a good point. Land your starting villager near the Dockville. You get the downhill bonus. They can't quick wall themselves because of the rock. Maybe you kill a villager. That's non-loot. Anyway, Atacama coming in from Tato. So we got Land Madness for Viper. We got Atacama, Arabia, and Gold Rush for Tato. So Tato with 3 relatively open maps. Viper with 2, well, hybrid map, a closed map, and then an extremely open map.
Viper picking 1 map of each flavor as far as our archetypes go in Age of Empires 2 maps. We'll have to see what civs they have in mind for all of these maps. There is sort of the trend towards open maps because that's just what Tato's draft is heavily favoring, but we do have Arena, Northern Isles in there from Viper. Could be seeing something a bit more out there. We'll have to see if their bans are going to be more focused on things like Aztecs and Mayans than perhaps we've seen in this tournament so far.
I think we might go to the Arena bans first, because that's like the most specialized map here. Land Madness, Arabia, Atacama, Gold Rush, there's options there. Northern Isles is a bit of a question mark, but I think Arena, the bans are going to be focused around that one closed map, if I had to suspect. I'm probably going to be wrong because that's just
the caster life, man.
Works, but we could see like a Bohemians ban here, we could see a Turks ban, we could see a Bengalis ban, who could be good on Arena and Northern Isles as well. Or just Poles, which is
just ban
probably
Poles.
Arena.
Yeah.
Arena and Gold Rush.
Gold Rush, yeah, I think especially Poles are a very popular civ on that map. Arena, they are no slouches either. Notably, Viper is a pretty big fan of Bohemians. I believe that is one of his most picked civs in this entire tournament. Of course, Arena is going to be one of his most picked maps as well. All of that does add up. And looks like you were right, Burgundians, another very strong closed map civ
Also
getting
not
banned.
bad on like Gold Rush.
Exactly.
Right? If you can full wall yourself, not bad on, well, Graveyards is banned. Sorry, I saw the name up there, but not bad on Graveyards either. Arabia, Gold Rush, if you can get yourself fully walled, Burgundians, their eco can just go insane. And of course, they've got a decent tech tree behind that as well. So, Poles ban, Burgundians ban, both kind of closed map civilizations. We were anticipating maybe Turks, Bohemians, Bengalis, something like that. Hindustanis, so that's an open map civ.
Yeah, again, it's just going to show that they are really having well-rounded bans and map picks so far. Cumin ban, civ that can kind of be a little bit more tricky, a bit out there. You can go for stuff like 2 TCs and Feudal Age, go for the cheap archery ranges and Archer Tower Rush, that sort of thing. Viper saying, I don't want to have to deal with that in this series.
Yeah, Hindustanis ban from Tato, probably pretty smart with Atacama, Arabia, Gold Rush, Land Madness. There's like 4 maps that they can be picked on, right? So maybe now looking at the civ selections, Lithuanians could be good on everything. And I like the fact that Tato bans Hindustanis and then picks Mayans. So that's like the plan for him, right? There's one civ that can completely counter Mayans. He's already banned it.
Well, it is just not going to be a factor here, and Tato can just go with Mayans, just one of the most inherently strong civs we have in all of Age of Empires on anything that resembles an open map, and we have 4-ish selections of that here. Viper going with Khmer and Bohemians. This is totally in his wheelhouse of civs he likes to play. Khmer, super strong eco, bit of a trickier tech tree options, and then Bohemians, it is just going to be his Arena pick almost certainly.
Khmer can be good on Land Madness, they can be good on Atacama as well, Arabia even, you could potentially select them, and now Tato goes for 2 cavalry civs of his own. Franks, once again, good on multiple maps here. Land Madness, Atacama, Arabia, even make an argument for them on Gold Rush. And then Lithuanians are just good on every map except maybe Arabia. Or not Arabia, sorry, Arena would be the one.
Yeah, I mean, Lithuanians, they're a fine civ on Arena. You can go for monk play quite effectively, strong late game tech tree, but it's just a matter of really optimizing your civs because you can't afford to give your opponent, a better civ matchup than you if you can avoid Viper picking Portuguese. It has just been a very common civ pick throughout this tournament. Yeah, it's GL stuff. Could be seeing this on Northern Isles. Sheepfold we haven't talked too much about. That's another open and aggressive map. So we do have that sort of tilt in this series for sure. And Portuguese have been pretty popular there.
And it's so funny too, because Portuguese used to be known as like closed map, water map selection, right? But instead, with the change to the wood gathering from the berries, they've become an open map civilization. We saw them popular on Sheepfold so far. I think we can see them on Arabia, like Viper picked yesterday. I mean, there's even an argument for them on Land Madness with how many berries are on the map.
Yeah, it's really interesting stuff, and we have Aztecs and Byzantines, two very popular strong civs. You can play them in multiple areas. I wonder where Byzantines actually in particular are going to factor in. Northern Isles, of course, they're great on those water maps. Japanese as well, when we don't have fish and fish in the map pool. This is some interesting stuff as we get deeper into the draft.
And Japanese could be good on Northern Isles is what I'm looking at. I mean, they're viable on other maps, but not really the best possible pick. Byzantines, if he picks Japanese and uses them on Northern Isles, I wonder where Byzantines are going to go. And I still wonder what the arena selection is going to be for Tato, because right now Viper has Bohemians, and that civ is going to be really tough to take down without that Cuman or Turk option. Turk's still not drafted here.
Yeah, not picked, not banned, or anything like that. Tatars and Berbers, two sort of more mid-gamey cavalry, cav archer, camel archer sort of civilizations. But Byzantines and Japanese strike me as, okay, if you ban one, the other one is going to be open for you on Northern Isles, and there is that Turks pick coming in from Tato, likely going to be seen on Arena versus the Bohemians. We've seen that matchup a ton so far in this event. But still, both players have options, and I don't think you see a clear weakness in these drafts so far where one snipe is sort of having your whole plan crumble.
I think the Turk snipe would be really good for Viper, right? Because Tato, what's his plan B for Arena? But I guess the question is, if Bohemians get sniped from Tato, then what's Viper's plan B for Arena? And Britain's is a viable option. Viper now picking Italians, of course, Northern Isles being his home map, so very interesting civ draft. I don't see a clear winner at the moment. Tata's got some very strong civs. Viper's got some strong ones as well, and Gajara's coming in here for those open maps as well.
Yeah, just another really strong civ that can slot in a bunch of different open map settings. Britons are going to be strong. You can play them pretty much anywhere. You can play them on open maps. You can play them on closed maps like Arena. No real issue. I think that makes the Turk snipe a little bit less attractive for the Viper. Love to see how he thinks of that particular matchup possibly. And it's going to be the classic Saracens for Tato. He loves the civ. He's known for this civ. And that will be one of the civs that rounds out his draft.
He was using this civ before it was cool.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like he was using this civ when it wasn't considered all that good before, the foot archers got as much damage against the walls as they do. And, Viper is going to go with, we'll have to see. Final picks coming in here, right? He's got one more, or does he have two more? Dravidians for Tato. I didn't notice that.
And
one.
it's
Okay,
going to be
Huns.
Huns for the Viper. Huns, another strong open map civ. We have around 4 of them in this map pool. Makes sense right there. And then Dravidians from Tato. Again, this is a civ we've seen on Frigid Lake, and we've seen on Fish and Fish a lot. Those two maps aren't being played here, so if Tato's going to be playing this civ, it's going to be in a little bit of a different situation. Northern Isles are certainly a strong possibility, but I'll be interested to see what he has planned here.
Huns pick is really interesting for Viper because I think that's viable on 4 of these maps, or 3 of these maps as well. And that's just a solid backup civilization. Also, actually, no, 4 of them.
I was going to say Sheepfold, Land Madness, Atacama, Arabia. I think you all can be happy playing Huns on right there. And now let's
Snipes,
see.
Interesting. Like, if you're Tato, do you go after the arena, the clear arena civilization here for Viper? If you're Viper, do you go after the clear arena civilization here for Tato? Because you both have multiple options for that water map. And then the land maps are kind of like, even if you snipe one, there's other options. And it's Saracens being sniped by Viper from Tato and Italians being sniped by Tato. So what does Viper do on Northern Isles? Does he default back to the Portuguese now?
I think you can totally do that. Maybe Tato doesn't want to see Viper play Portuguese on a land map. Really, sniping Italians there does sort of heavily tilt Viper towards picking Portuguese on the water map, but it's not like Portuguese are a bad water map civ. It's not like he doesn't have options. Whereas on the other side, the Saracen's ban from Viper, he just doesn't want to deal with Tato Saracen market shenanigans.
It feels like it, doesn't it?
And I can't blame him for that.
I mean, we've seen so many players in the past where they have a draft against Tato. Tato drafts Saracens really late, and then the players are like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and then they just get rid of it because they don't know what else to do, right? They never expect exactly the strategy or the placement of Saracen. Sometimes he picks it on maps he really probably shouldn't pick it, and he comes up with some bold strategies and gets the win. So Civ draft is over here. Very interesting one. I can't say that either player really won this Civ draft. It looks fairly even to me. The only questionable pick here is that Japanese pick, especially when he has other options like Dravidians and Byzantines for Northern Ireland.
All right. So you're saying already that no one feels like they really got the upper hand. The one thing that you're really noticing is Tato's pick of Japanese being a little bit like, what is that for? But is there something Viper picked that you have a little bit of a question mark about?
Well, his draft seems pretty consistent, picking a lot of very strong civs that also fit into Viper's playstyle. Definitely more macro, late-game oriented civs. I think that you have just solid options across the board. I can't really find a weakness here.
No, there's no weakness.
No.
All right. Well, an excellent draft then. And guys, we are ready to start this third place match. Your casters are going to be Doubt and Jordan. Guys, take it away.
Welcome everyone to the show, and thank you so much, guys, for this beautiful analysis. I mean, Doubt, you know, it's a pleasure for me to be here and casting with you because it's always a highlight to spend time with you.
To spend time.
You know, that's what I was saying as well, Doubt.
Make it fun.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, it's like third place match, Viper against Tato, but you know, if we look at those two,
We expect it to be a third place match, right?
yeah, exactly. This could easily be the grand final. And this kind of shows that the competitive scene is very, very high.
I mean, you don't expect us to cast here. We were supposed
It should
to
be,
be there as well,
but yeah, you know,
it happens, right?
the things didn't work out as well as we intended. And you know, looking at the drafts, when you look at Viper's picks of the maps, like I feel like there's no pattern. We have a very open map, which is like Madness could make the argument it's the most aggressive one.
Yep.
Then we have Arena, a very close one, and Northern Isles, which is the hybrid map. So there's no pattern. Why do you think Viper has so much diversity in his picks?
I mean, it's best of 7, right? There is the 11 maps, I believe. More or less every map will be picked.
Yeah.
And it's, at this point, like everybody knows to play every single map. It
Yeah.
more comes to the draft. And
Yeah.
even draft is like, everybody got what they wanted.
Yeah.
Everybody got what they wanted, so we are going to have very close games, I believe.
Yeah, for sure. Tato on the other side, he was like, in terms of his pattern, it was very land-based, right? And that is also very interesting because Tato is that very hybrid stylistic play, right? And in this case, against Viper, very land-focused. Why do you think is it?
He knows that Viper knows him, right?
Yeah.
We did discuss before he started, like, what do we pick? Like, fish and fish map, or everything knows. I guess Bo didn't want to play that map. Like, it's done. We are done with that map. Rigid Lake, Tato didn't feel that confident in that map as well. Like, he wanted Persian plan, also known. So, here we are starting the first game on the ship and ship.
So the first thing we see here is the Viper here playing in the blue trunks as Aztecs in the southern side of this map. And on the other side, we have Tato playing the red trunks as Lithuanians. And Lithuanians, as far as I know, we have not seen them on sheep fold thus far in the main event. And obviously, Aztecs, we have seen another person playing that one. Do you remember who that was?
I wish I don't. I'm trying to forget, Jordan. Thank you for reminding.
So, Daud, in terms of both civilizations, I think with Aztecs, it's pretty straightforward. Most of the time, you would like to open men-at-arms into follow-up with an archer range. As Lithuanians, they have a lot of options as well. What do you think we could expect from Tato here?
Like, Aztecs playstyle suits Tato actually more. And I was just like, are the pick and tips correct? Like, Lithuanians is something that suits Viper, and Aztecs a bit more trickier civilization where you want to use the market, you want to do eagles, tricky strategies. It's more like a Tato thing, so they are switching the roles here.
Okay.
But obviously, both teams are amazing on this map, and interesting to see what Tato comes up with Lithuanians here.
Yeah. With Lithuanians, obviously you start with 150 food at the beginning more than other civs, so that is a little boost which allows you to go to the fuel age much faster. We have seen Lyri utilizing that yesterday against Viper on graveyards, and so there are definitely options. And Tato, he has 17 villagers going for Loom already, so he will be about to go up to fuel age, and with such a fast fuel age, we can expect no man-at-arms for sure. So it's either going to be scouts or archer range. But it looks to me that it's going to be scout play most likely, right?
Yeah, exactly. With Lithuanians, you want to use that starting bonus to go up as soon as possible and apply pressure, because during the game they don't have actually any other economy bonus. So your economy bonus is actually preventing enemy to have a good economy and settle his game.
Yep, yep. So Barrick coming up for Tato right now. He is on one lumber camp. Obviously, if you go up that fast, you don't need the second lumber. Exactly. Otherwise, you cannot afford anything there. And Viper on the other side, he is 2 minutes later, or two villages later than Tato, so he will definitely be playing very defensively. But you know, I think Viper is going to enjoy that moment because he's used to playing greedy. He's used to playing defensive.
He loves it.
Exactly.
Obviously, in this matchup, like you said, Lithuanians always up faster, and Aztecs has to play reactive. It's very important that Viper Scout is always on point to see what is Tato up to.
Yeah, and the funny thing we saw yesterday, Viper against Lyri, Viper has this special feeling for where to position his scouts.
Amazing.
So he's really good in that. And with Lithuanians, scout opening, oh, we see 2 villages on gold.
He's copying Lyri. Well,
Wow.
it worked for Lyri, so why not? It's actually the same matchup, right?
Yeah, it is the same one. I'm a bit surprised by that because I felt like the gold was taken a little bit too late, but I guess it's going to be fine here. And yeah.
Because he's not aiming for a huge archer production, he probably like 4 or 5 and then switch completely to scouts. Similar what Lyri did. Now, is that a good to repeat it?
Well,
Will Viper be able to react better here? It's also, Graveyard is way more open map than this one.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely Tato will find openings here. Having 2 villager faster uptime is definitely going to be helpful in that regard. We see a Spearman coming out here, and Viper adds an archer range as well. So he's going to be playing archers as well as he is on gold. And the beautiful thing for Aztecs here is they produce 15%, if I'm not mistaken, faster their military units. So it's going to be easy to get a lot of numbers out for them.
And skirmishers are produced faster than archers, so Viper now needs to spot that range, and if he spotted in time, he will probably queue up skirmisher first.
Exactly.
Also a bit lucky for the Viper, the middle is quite a far distance.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's very good for him, especially if you want to play defensive. And we see Tato already. He's sneaking on the right-hand side. Oh, and
did he spot that?
I don't think he sees that, right? Or he saw it, because otherwise he should have reacted here. And that's going to be very dicey for Viper, I would assume. He sees the archer range in the front, so that is a good confirmation for him. But on the left-hand side, with the scout, the spearman, and the archer, there is potential to pick off 1 villager. And now Viper sees the confirmation. There is a scout. And let's see, the villager HP is getting lower and lower, and now it's all about the marker here, Doubt.
I don't think he will overcommit. Oh, nice job. Like, how does Viper always kill? It's like you need to have, I don't know, imagination of how do you want like we call very on a trap. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's very hard to pull off, and we see 1 archer going to go down. No, he saves it as well, and the spearman goes down, the scout goes down, and the eagle is going to be able to push away the archer here. And that means after this fight here, we will see 3 units dying for Tato and only 1 for Viper. So beautiful defense here, and now we have 4 military units for the Viper, while on the other side we have 3 for Tato.
Absolutely perfect opening by Viper, and he will be having 3 eagles left over. That's absolutely huge. He now has blocked the counter unit, skirmisher, which Tato kind of needs to go, and he's also Lithuanian bonus, they move faster. He is still producing only archers, and probably, I assume, he will add stable anytime soon.
The question for me now is he going to play extremely greedy, go for fletching, you know, and just... Okay, never mind, there's the stable here. I was just wondering, like, in these situations, I personally like to stick with the archer range and maybe even add a second one, because as long as the Aztecs player doesn't add skirms to the mix, you're kind of fine, right? Like,
Yeah,
the
those
eagles
are not a threat, right?
they're not at all, right? And that always helps you to get the numbers for the crossbows in Castle Age, and then you accompany those with knights. But yeah, Tato has opened with the stable there, and we will see the archer scout mix against the eagle archer mix.
Like for me, when I do economy military upgrades, it's when I feel I have a timed attack,
Yeah.
and that timed attack is gone. So Tato prefers to have numbers, and he didn't spot this.
Yeah, and
This is going to be ugly.
yeah, and Viper for sure picking off one villager here, and the second one could go down as well. But nice reaction here by Tato. He kind of saves that one. Yeah. Oh, 1 HP. Yeah, and he has to retreat now. So beautiful save here by Tato. And now those 2 archers and 3 eagles have obviously no chance against those 6 archers at all. There is no fletching in for Tato, so that's a little bit of a problem for him here. But yeah, overall, I think that was a very good exchange for Viper because he caught Tato off guard. Like, he didn't expect that at all, Doubt.
Yeah, Tato needs to trap this army completely, so trading one villager for this army, it's worth it for Tato, and Viper will obviously lose all those units, but he wants to get as much as value as possible.
He's also buying time with that, and in this situation, I think you want to save the eagle numbers, right, if you're Viper, because about the archers, you don't really care about them too much. Usually as the Aztecs player, you want to have a lot of eagles, and especially when you're hitting castle age, you will produce most of the time from 2-3 barracks at the monasteries, and then you have this death ball combined of monks and eagles, and that is just very hard to stop. And for Tato, obviously, he wants to shred down the numbers of eagles.
Exactly that, like, archers are not the scaling unit for the Aztecs, it's eagles. Once you get those eagles numbers out of control, it's so hard to stop, especially on the maps where you cannot actually be completely walled.
Yep. In general, if you think about castle age here, which civ would you prefer? Like Lithuanians, obviously, they have this huge advantage that per each relic they get a +1 attack on their knights and lighties, and that is obviously very strong. However, with the monks, you have a good counter there in theory by the Aztecs player.
Yeah, interesting, you know, both civs have a really good relic bonus, right? Aztecs get their gold faster from relics, and Lithuanians get the extra attack for the knight.
Yeah.
The relic, it will be the relic race in Castle Age for sure. They will both prioritize that quite high on the list.
Yeah, we only have 5 relics on this map, and here on the woodline, Viper is trying to be very annoying, but Tato, you know, he's doing a very good job with his archers. Even though he has 1 archer less, he still is totally fine here. Goes for wheelbarrow as well, and oh, Doubt, I've been in this situation against Hera, and I felt like going for wheelbarrow is very, very risky, because that delays your uptiming.
He's not planning to go up Jordi, he's not going, he is doing bloodlines, he's going all in scouts.
Yep.
He's basically repeating the game from yesterday.
Yeah. And now these 4 archers, man, they are so annoying, and Tato really struggles with that, right? Because all the intention he wants to apply right now should be in the front, right? He doesn't want to defend. He's all-inning in feudal age, and Viper's just buying himself so much time.
It's insane.
Yeah,
it's like that only woodline for the Tato as well.
Yep. And also on the left-hand side, we see now a skirmish as well, and Tato has picked up 2 units here from Viper, so this can snowball really, really fast here. And we see those archers charging in here. We have 7 archers against 3 archers and 1 eagle, and 5 archers here, okay. But Viper, he needs to be on point here with his micro, otherwise he will take a lot of losses here.
He'll be super happy to trade those archers for as even as possible. He wants eagles. Eagles cannot die until Castle Age. And maybe Viper is being greedy, not putting a tower here. Like, he needs a tower, he needs security, but he believes in his micro and he's definitely doing well.
Yeah, exactly. There is a skirm coming out as well. The skirm is like the perfect unit here to fend off those archers. He doesn't have skirm though, so the archers will take 2 damage to those skirms instead of 1. But yeah, Viper is just on point with his micro, and you know, Viper, Tato is like desperately trying to find some damage here. I think he senses that his opponent is up to castle age, and it's just a matter of time until he reaches that. And you know, if you're in feudal age while your opponent as the Meso player is reaching castle age and you're like 100 food in the bank, Doubt, I don't think that's a good feeling, is it?
It's the position you hate to be on, but I have to point out how impressive Viper defense here was. Like, he had optimum amount of units to defend. He didn't want to tower. He was so confident it's enough, and it was actually perfect amount.
Exactly.
Really, really good play by Viper.
Exactly. And now he's also picking off the archers of Tato, which is kind of the biggest threat here. With units he doesn't really care about, right? Like, the eagles are the ones which he cares about right now, and we see the deadly upgrades of the eagle warrior and the scale boarding armor. I think no, is the second armor upgrade for the infantry. We're not used to casting Doubt.
Completely total of 5 armor. That means that every range unit will do only one damage per shot.
Yeah,
that's nothing.
Exactly, and also think about it. Viper used the time to go to Castle Age, and even then he's only 3 villages behind. Yes, Tato obviously has wheelbarrow, but right now he's, you know, flirting with the idea of going up. He's adding your favorite building. Doubt, tell us how the market works.
I like that flirting with the idea. You're getting those casters things. Yeah, I like. I absolutely love that Viper is actually playing with second EC. I would this here do 4 barracks, market, everything. We go.
Yep.
But Viper is playing super macro game. He knows he's ahead and he doesn't want to risk it.
Exactly. And also crazy out that he has economy for literally everything. And that is something I'm struggling with when I'm playing Mezzo, for example, that I'm able to afford everything. But he has all the necessary upgrades, even squires now for his Eagles, which, you know, make them so much faster. And that is so important. And for Tato, in theory, if he was able to wall his base to a certain degree in order to stop the Eagle ratings, then I could see something happening from his side. But this is going to be very tough now. The quick wall's coming in, and you have to be so on point
He's
here.
on point. Yeah, they're both on point on quick walls. There is only one player that is not. And that's not one of them.
Nope, I think I know who you're talking about, Dout, but, you know, like, I'm not the best quick waller, we all know that. And
Also to point out is like, Tato cannot confirm if Viper is going full all-in Eagles or not, so he always need to have in the mind, maybe I need many times to survive. It's really hard now for Tato to play. Like, whatever he chooses, it's a risky option, right?
Exactly, and the main thing for me here to look at is, yes, Tato has saved his villagers, that's nice obviously for him, but Viper costs so much idle time for Tato, and he's like completely on the back foot. And then meanwhile, Viper is expanding, building a third TC. I'm sure he has a monastery up as well to gather those relics. And yeah, it's just like a very comfortable... Oh, here's the relic. Like, we know what we're talking about. We know what we're talking about, though.
Yeah, exactly. Full macro game. He used Eagles to buy time, not to finish the game.
Yeah.
And many players in this position go for the kill.
Yeah, yeah. And this is just a beautiful position for the Viper. Dout, what do you think Tato has to do right now in order to come back?
He cannot just go. This is like, he sees the relics probably, he has the scouts the whole game. He will grab the relics and double stable knights. I think that's only chance. And don't lose those scouts, they will be your biggest tool to snipe the monks.
Would you also go forward with a siege workshop of a monastery, or would you like completely commit on the knight play?
That's not needed, I believe, here. Like, you usually go forward siege workshop when enemies can crossbow. And like, this is only with fletching, so +2 armor is enough to cause the trouble to his economy.
So in this scenario, the scouts or a soon-to-be upgraded light cav is going to be the most important unit here, right? Because for Ad6 player, the biggest threat against those knights are the monks. And the big issue here for Tato is the Ad6 have this speciality that the monks get 5 extra HP per each monastery upgrade you do. So, and all of a sudden, those Ad6 monks are extremely buffy. And oh, there is a hole here. So those 4 or 3 Eagles
damage there, right?
are going to find so much damage here. And now Tato is forced to retreat all his gold miners. And now he's not able to afford that. Yes, he has a monastery market, but like all the gold income is so necessary for him.
It's not even so much about economy, it's how much it's about buying time. Like, he is slowing down Tato's push just by the Eagles that he is more or less wasting.
And he's a hole here on the wood line. Now it feels like he's kind of falling apart here. And I mean, this is so disastrous for Tato. He's so big on the... he's so far behind here. And ideally, he would like to be raiding Viper's base now and idling the economy, but he's not capable of doing so because he has to defend all the time.
Exactly, and if you can see the value of the army, it's actually high for Tato, and he has to stay at home. That's not the position you want to be. You have less economy, more army, and you're playing defensive.
Yep. And also army numbers. We have 25 against 19. So in theory, Tato has the power, the strength in order to make something happen. But as we mentioned, all the time defending. And this just, the longer the game goes out, the better it is going to be for the Viper.
For sure, like, he is already 20 villages ahead, and I wouldn't be surprised if Viper just had 2 more barracks and do the pike tech soon.
Like, if he goes for pikes right now, the game... Like,
there's no breaking anymore.
There's no way, right? Tato really has to hope that Viper commits fully onto the Eagles there, ignores the pikes, and invests...
Catch on the monk.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think that's going to happen. And yeah, you know, that's also Viper. It's something Viper loves. He loves to take down the production facilities.
It's always like, whenever we play a team game, guys, let's kill the production.
Yeah, yeah. What should we do? Let's kill the production buildings. And that's exactly what Viper is doing right now. We have 26 army against 23. So in that regard, it's not too bad for Tato. But 44 villagers against 71. That's not a position you want to be in.
At least Tato is finally breaking out of his cage, but Viper knows that, and I really think Pikeman will be on the way soon.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a dream position to be in for the Viper here, and
Oh, nice
nice
one.
quick wall by Tato, and it feels like the timing is running against him. He definitely wants to clean up here these eagles, and he needs to force his issue here in the front, but I don't like. I really think that Viper will not even give him the time to move to the other side of the map. I feel like he has to defend all the time now.
Yeah, even with those eagles, that they were always not there to kill. They're there to buy time. He doesn't care about them. He just needs a bit more time until the extra villagers economy kicks in. And there are spearmen, yeah.
Exactly. And now the pressure is coming. We will see more barracks coming from the Viper as well, and producing a lot of Eagle Pike and monks here. And you can see, like, Tato knows he needs to force the issue here. He was about to go to the other side of the map to get some ratings, but no, Viper doesn't allow him to do so, and he will have to defend all the game.
Yeah, game sense from Viper is absolutely insane. Like, we see the whole map here and we know the pikeman will be right choice, and he just does it at the perfect moment. Like, he lost his pressure. Now it's time to switch to the pikeman.
Yeah, and also beautiful blocking here by Viper. Tato was trying to get onto those monks here, but now we see a big clash here, and I think this clash is going to be the biggest one here of this game. The Knights are taking down those eagles.
Actually,
yeah, it's going to be a cleanup, right? But
a nice counter pikeman.
I think so, Dowd. I've
Just witnessed that.
I heard that before. And this is obviously a nice momentum swift by Tato, and now obviously he has to follow this up now. Dowd, how would you follow it up as Tato?
Full aggression, more stables, don't care about second DC. Maybe put 7-8 villagers on stone. Once you get another good fight, so you can snowball completely with a castle in farm place.
Also, one thing we have to point out here, Lithuanians has 2 relics here, so they get 2 extra attack on those knights, so they are very strong here. And now we see another fight here. Obviously that one is going to be really crushing for Viper, because his production is just out of this world here, Dowd.
His economy pikeman is cheaper unit, and very well played by Viper.
Yeah, so this was a very convincing gameplay by Viper, and also for me it was very interesting because when Tato tried to raid him on the south with his 7 archers and 1 scout, there was a moment where Viper in theory could have walled between his wood line toward the TC, and he would have been completely fine, but he didn't do that. Like, he was very confident
About his, like, he knows if it goes in trouble, I will quick wall.
Exactly.
I will quick wall village out.
Exactly.
He didn't lose anything. He killed the pressure. He even killed that spearman for some reason. It was there.
Yep.
Like, everything was full cleanup, and from their point, Viper was on driving seat the whole game.
For sure. How do you think, like, we both know those 2 very well, obviously. How do you think Tato's mindset is right now? Does he look at it and be like, yeah, whatever, first game was kind of the warm-up?
They're
or like,
both very experienced tournament players, like.
Yeah.
And it's a bit harder when you play your own teammate, because we always talk about strategies. We never hide anything from each other, at least I don't. Not sure about
I don't as well.
So you have nothing like backup plan. For example, if you're losing against Leary or Hera, okay, I have this plan for the next, I will do Dravidians, I will do this. Here, everything is out, everything is known, so both are put on spot, and usually that's where meta kicks in.
Yeah.
Viper is slightly better there.
Yeah, he's just so good at execution, right? Like, I would say the only 2 players who can match his execution level would be Viper and Dowd.
Tank?
Like, Leary and Dowd and Harry. Yeah. But okay, anyway.
Let's focus on the next game then.
Do you... Okay, so the next map, we just got the confirmation, is going to be Arabia.
Ooh, look at this for that.
Arabia was also the first pick for Tato. So for him, it was very important to have Arabia in this one, right? Because the second one would be the ban. So why do you think he rates Arabia so high?
We talked earlier, like, he doesn't rate it high, just like Arabia will be won by the good civ.
Yeah,
And
okay.
He thinks he will have a better civ there.
Okay, looking at the civs here, you know, one thing which I wanted to ask you beforehand is, were you surprised Tato picking Mines as first pick?
I'm surprised they're not banned.
Okay, so if I see Mines first pick, it has to be...
For what map?
Oh, I thought it was Arabia.
I was thinking as well, but that's same, guys.
Oh, crazy. Okay, so we have different civs here. If I'm not mistaken, Hans against... What was it? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure... we will get the information in a moment here, and yeah, I'm sure we will jump into the set here right away.
Yeah, I talk a little bit. Only thing I know, Atacama will be Skirmisher War.
Skirmisher War?
Skirmisher Spearman, good old style.
Ah,
That's what Tato was planning to do that for years and never got a chance.
okay,
Now he will do that. For Arabia, I assume Mayans as well.
Okay, interesting, because Atacama, as far as I know and I'm not mistaken, we have not seen it in the main event.
I think this is the first time.
It's the first time, right?
Well,
and
we will see. That's still a question.
yeah, that's true. I hope for it, because Atacama is also a very aggressive map.
I hate it.
I personally, but I always ban it as well because
it's to do funny stuff there. Like,
yeah.
No, don't meta me there. Like,
Yeah,
don't.
it is wild. It is wild. And, we saw Atacama being played on the qualifiers. We had Capuch against MBL or MBL against, who was it? Sito, I think, right? And also,
I remember the game, yeah.
most of the time we see Scouts opening, sometimes also Archer opening. But then there was a map, there was a game, MBL against Sito, where
Magyars open skirms, right?
Exactly, skirm spikes. No, it's not something.
Open as well, skirms. Like, it was like such a weird opening.
Yeah, you don't expect that, right? But it also makes sense because the trash unit is very, very cheap, and you can really force the issue in the middle, and all the wood is there, so it makes sense. But yeah,
Distance is close, so mobility is not such a high priority, but Scouts is the best unit in Feudal if you get all the upgrades. But the question is, will you get all the upgrades?
exactly, it takes time.
Takes time.
So Arabia, Arabia can be extremely open and extremely closed.
And it's more close, right?
This is more close, right? So you want to have civs which also thrive a lot in terms of the early economy and are very good at massing a lot. So, yeah.
If you ask them boys, like, Mayans, they cannot lose there.
Yeah.
I also talk with them, yes, like, Mayans, we
love
practice Mayans, and whoever gets them always wins. Like, they prioritize them so high. Like, extra villager, resources last longer, crossbow cheaper.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful civilization for this map. And oh, we don't see mines here.
I'm surprised, but Britons is also a very solid archer team, isn't it?
For sure. So on the northern side, we have the Viper spawning here in the blue trunks as Hans. And on the other side, Tato playing in red trunks. Whoa!
That's Premiel, yeah.
Whoa. Dot, we see a pre-mill rush here by Tato. And ooh, the scouting is going to be the most important thing.
And Viper?
Yeah.
On point with scouting.
Yeah,
Always some point. It's insane.
He sees it immediately, and he sees the barrack. He was about to go back, but the last tile, he was able to spot that one, and he obviously knows what's going to happen, right? And now for Tato, does he know where he has to send his army? Because now it's either on the right-hand side or the left-hand side.
I know where he is, yeah. The scout is on the north. He did not convert. I mean, the bear.
This is disastrous because the scout, like, okay, he now sees the gold. He knows he has to go to left-hand side, but that gives Viper so much time to react to this doubt.
Already so delayed, and Bear will actually take half of HP, and Viper is rushing as well at the same time.
Crazy.
Do way more damage than that will with the rush.
And I love what Viper is doing here. Like, most players would be remaining at the defensive, right? You're expecting your opponent to send those two militias to you, but he says, no, I will defend with my quick walls and I will apply the pressure by myself. And Tato, he will not expect it. Fortunately for him, he has Loom right away now, so his villagers are not going to take so much damage here. And obviously the militia is trapped here, so that one is not going to find any damage here. So beautiful reaction here by Tato. And oh, that's kind of surprising, isn't it, Doubt? Those two militia are finding damage here, which, was not really supposed to happen.
I was with the Viper choice to leave one militia next to the Tato's gold, just for like scouting and maybe denying the first villager. But like two militia are chat, one militia is nothing.
No, you don't care about that one, especially if the scout is not in fuel age yet, because it only has 3 damage output instead of 5 here. And the follow-up is going to be Viper is not on gold. So is it archer range skirm?
Well, the Viper map is absolutely insane with the backwood, back gold.
Yep.
Tato, both important resources, gold and berries forward. I don't think Viper needs gold at all. He can push with the skirms, and me saying that, he's going for the gold.
How do we always find those moments where we claim something and then the moment after we see we were wrong?
I don't know. Like last game, I said he would do pikeman, bam, pikeman. I felt special now.
Now
I know
not so
I'm
much.
now I know I'm not playing but casting.
Yeah, the curse of the casting, yeah. I also think it is a little bit late there, but I think he will open with 1 skirm and then transition into an archer here.
Range.
And double range for Britons, and we must not forget, Britons, they have faster production of the archery unit, so...
That's like 2.5 ranges.
Yeah, that's crazy. Tato will be able to get a lot of range units on the field here, and Viper, he gets a confirmation that his opponent is not really heavily on gold. So he will expect a lot of skirms here from his opponent.
Yeah, usually players want to go one range and blacksmith for the fast fletching, but if your plan is to go for the castle age, you want to get second range and get that archer mass, keep rolling. So when you get castle age, you have a huge cross of numbers, which for the Britons, and next range is hard to stop.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure if Tato is going to be able to afford that though, because obviously he doesn't have as many villages. So, you know, keeping up the production of 2 archer ranges and also the TC is going to be rather tough. I think his blacksmith is going to be delayed in terms of like getting the fletching in. But what do you think is more important? Getting the mass out with 2 archer ranges or getting the quality out with fletching?
If you hit your timing, like depends what the opponent is doing. If you're faster to feudal, you have some timing with fletching. But here, when you're absolutely close, I think the mass is there, and also Viper is opening archers, so he will have a really struggle. Even those 2 militia at the small number are quite annoying thing.
Yeah, and we see now fletching 15 seconds away from Viper, but you know, in these kind of scenarios, it just feels like the mass seems to be a bit more important. Viper is forced to do a little bit of walling here, also beautiful micro here by both players, and you know, I look at it and I just feel satisfied by the way Tato is playing, because he doesn't show Viper any respect. He's like, okay, I will go full out with military. I'm going for the pressure, the biggest pressure I can, and I'll force you to defend here.
Absolutely, he's like, if Lyric can do it, I can do it as well. And he will also sneak 1 archer behind the wood line because he will get easily sniped by skirms. Smart little move.
Also, you know, like thinking about yesterday against Hera, it felt like he didn't play as confident. We talked about it. You were saying he didn't play as confident as he usually does, but now this game shows me he's here to play it out.
He just plays the best when he plays against us. That's absolutely true.
Yeah, yeah. And now, obviously, military-wise, double the army size, 12 against 6 here. And oh, and Viper's situation here, what would you recommend him doing? Because obviously adding a second archer range I don't think is really a possibility, because he's never going to catch up in those numbers. Isn't he kind of forced to add a stable here?
Absolutely, like you don't want to go to range units war against Britons, that's not your specialty. You want that stable out, but you need to have a decent range units number for the spearman, right? So those early trades did not pay off for Viper, right? He's only left with 2 archers and 1 skirmisher.
I just saw he had a stable before I even mentioned that, so
yeah, I saw
yeah, good stuff. Thanks for not roasting me here down.
I try to be
nice. So yeah, we have second archer range being added now, and is it going to be a skirm scout army by Viper? Will he add archer scout, or do you think it's mainly focused on skirm scouts here?
It has to be skirms because we are getting closer and closer to the castle age, and you don't want to go to the crossbow war. Not against Britons, right?
Yeah, you want to step away here. And Tato, you know, I love what he was doing. He was very aggressive with his early units, and now he's, you know, egg-walling himself. So he knows that
the market.
The market, and it's like crazy, right? The market is going to be so helpful. And left-hand side, the village is walling. 3 scouts are about to come in. In my calculations, the scouts will enter this one doubt.
Oh, not if Tato pay attention.
Oh, this is so annoying. And now let's see what Tato is going to be capable of doing. But no, Viper will not allow the quick walls happening here. I mean, Viper is very experienced in that one because he kind of invented that kind of stuff, right? So he knows exactly which angle he has to go for.
He is forced now to return with whole army just to deal with those 3 scouts. But luckily for him, there is no follow-up, right? It's just those scouts. He will be happy with 1 kill. And I think they will move the game now to the castle age.
Exactly, and for Tato it's not the worst thing, right? Because he retreated with his army anyhow, because, you know, exactly, he will be up to castle age faster than his opponent, right? He forced so much reaction from Viper. And you want to remain with the archer masses, because once you hit the castle age, you want to have a threatening army.
That's your unit of the choice, and also Viper did invest heavily into food units, scouts and skirms.
Yep.
He also did the armor upgrade on the range units. And Tato, most importantly, got the market.
Exactly. You know, the thing here is, I look at the map and be like, if I was in Viper's situation, aren't you forced to go for tower forward because you're not going to match up the castle time from Tato?
Yeah, here you will need to make decision. Full feudal or just make skirms, keep enemy at home as long as possible until you hit castle age. Both options are valid. I guess depends on the playstyle. I would, with this forward gold of Tato, I would probably go for the forward tower.
I think you have to. But let's see what Viper is going to aim for. His food count is rather high, so it kind of looks like he wants to focus on the faster cast age time. And, you know, I look at it and, you know, I talked with Tato a lot about that. He's not the biggest fan of having feudal gates against ranged units. And now we see him having that. And, you know, that forces him a lot of problems, I would say, because he feels like he has to defend that one. If he has two houses here in the front of the gate, then he is completely fine, right? And he doesn't have to react to anything here.
Yeah, it makes your base look prettier, but it's always punishing. Like, that's the first thing you hit if you're playing aggressive.
Yep, exactly. And now you feel like Tato wants to repair the gate, right? Because he knows that if something is coming in, especially, he doesn't know what Viper's follow-up is. If there are like 7 scouts behind with bloodlines or something, okay, he obviously sees it now, but it's like always a threat, and he's even investing 3 villages to repairing that one. And on the other side, we see Viper 1 minute delayed in terms of the cast age time, but looking at everything, it's fine.
Very important thing, how Tato game sense. He did the market, he saw his gold, he saw Viper got a more army. He didn't want to sell stone.
Yeah,
He was there prepared in case that Viper is going aggressive with the tower. He will go counter tower.
Yeah,
that
beautiful.
Was so smart. Like
Beautiful.
He was not blinded when he market like some would. He just waited to react. He's happy. He got more units. If he push me, I will drop a tower. If he doesn't, well, I will drop TC later.
Yeah, beautiful play here by Tato. And now the question is, what is his response going to be? I absolutely love what he's doing here on the right-hand side. He's like, okay, with those archers, ideally upon reaching castle age, I want to be at your base, right? I don't want to be stuck in my base here.
You lose your time window, right?
Exactly. So, and with the skirms he has, he's totally fine. And look at Viper. He like
hold on all the time next to ranges.
Is there a hole? Really?
I think they just pass.
Okay, I didn't see that one. But this is just beautiful to spectate, right? Because the game sense of both players is so high. Viper is like, okay.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Oh, this is hurting a lot here. Viper is going to lose so many archers here. I mean, it's not the end of the world as he hunts, but still, it's not a good trade because he's not going to kill any unit of Tato here.
And he zones out those archers, so Tato's crossbow can just go for the blood.
Yep. Exactly. And the crossbows are going to reach Viper's base in a moment here. This is not going to be beautiful for Viper because, you know, he's very fragile at the back of his base here. Fortunately for him, it is in the back, right? So he's, in theory, has a little bit more time. But his micro definitely has to be on point here. And the main question for me, okay.
That's a lot of damage done already.
Oh, that's insane. 3 villages being picked off here by Tato. And, you know, Viper's reaction was rather slow in that regard, so it's not something he really expected on the right-hand side. And yeah, Tato, he is in the driver's seat now. And, you know, what do you think? That's like one of the most important questions here. When do you go for ballistics here for both players?
Ooh, I think with this distance, you don't want to go ballistic. You want to have the siege workshop. But at the same time, against Britons, they outrange the Mangonel, and that's quite a tricky part as well.
Yeah, so I think, and let's see if you agree, for Viper it is a must to get ballistics ASAP, because you need to, you need to be able to chase down those units, and if you don't have ballistics, like, you will never kill units. But for Tato, and that's also exactly what he's doing, just add 2 TCs and be fine. You just boom up and get your economy going.
That's the problem when you play against crossbow. You're investing so much. You need elite scrums, you need plus 2 armor, you need the bot count, you need ballistic. And he just make 1 siege workshop, 1 Mangonel, and you need to retreat.
Yep. And Viper now, as we mentioned, he is forced to do the.
He opened the wall for some reason.
Oh, what?
Why did he?
I
That
guess
has to be a misclick.
I don't think so. I think it was intentional to use that knight against those skirms, but I guess he didn't see those archers here, did he?
He saw probably maybe 1 annoying skirm, and he was like, "You will not bother me," and then the friends show up.
Yeah, I mean, he will be able...
Look, trap.
That's why he had the whole down. Now we have
I started to think that was intentional as well.
Yeah.
It's a full cleanup.
Obviously, a beautiful engagement here for Viper, but this game reminds me a little bit of the first one, where Tato was kind of forced to deal damage with his 1 TC play, and Viper is in that situation right now himself, and Tato is like, okay, I try to be annoying with my army, but in the back of my base, I have blooming economy, 59 villages against 43 ballistics now coming in for both players, and obviously Viper is going to be here on the timer.
and Britain's town centers are also 50% cheaper, so he's saving quite a bit of that. Basically, he's having 3 TCs for price of 1. 2
So-
TCs.
If you think about Viper's position here, Dowd, obviously we see the entire screen. Even let's say everything is all visible. How would be the best approach for Viper?
I believe Skirms and Knights. Like, he cannot now catch up on the boom. He needs to reclaim the map control, and when he's reclaiming the map control, then maybe you can focus on economy.
Okay, so you're saying play 1 TC, all out, Knight, Skirms. Do you add Rams? Or do you just try to
You
whiff those?
never add Rams. You just you add them and you have them in the post-Imperial upgrades.
Okay, so just playing without Siege. Don't you need Siege at one point just to force the issue? Because Knights, they will struggle against Botkin TCs with Ballistics as well, right?
Obviously, but you need to get map control back first. Like, Viper will not be able to break from this concave ever if he's starting to boom, and he will not even catch up with the village count. Like, Tato is already 20 villages ahead. If he starts adding TCs now, he will always be behind, and he will also be behind in military numbers, so at least to get advantage in one part of the game.
Yep, yep. But Viper, you know, he is about to add, or he's adding the second TC right now, so I guess he wants to force the issue a little bit with the skirms, yes?
Maybe he believes in his micro, right?
Yep, yep. So currently the game is paused. I was told that the mouse is bugging out a little bit for one of those 2 players, so they will work on that, and I'm pretty sure we will jump into the game in a moment here.
I remember using the ball mouse back in my time.
You know, like 50 years ago.
Like,
and then it was fixed, huh?
it was a good old. You never had that?
I had that, I think, when I was 5 years old.
Oh, God.
Yeah, back when you were like 30 years old out.
I was already in high school.
So yeah, the game resumes here, and you know.
Oh, nice job! This is what exactly what Viper needed to even out the army count, and then he can try to catch up with the bomb.
The thing is, he has ballistics. He has second.
I just find the value. Viper is so good.
Yeah, he's just on point here with his archers, and you know, right now it's 30 to 20. It's going to be a huge lead for Viper in a moment here, and those elite skirms with +2 armor. I love that move. I love that move. Yeah, and those archers are going to pick off the Mangonel. I mean, he finds the. Oh no, okay. Tato saves that one, but it is such a beautiful move by Viper because he forces so much issues.
Viper, it was like a dream scenario. Cleaning up army, Mangonel out of position, scums trading, evening out economy, like dream scenario for Viper. Fixing that mouse helped him.
Yeah. The main question now, you're in Viper's position, you see the Mangonel is still alive, you have the skirms. What do? Do you like, okay,
run,
run, but you're kind of close, right? Oh, and the hit,
That's
definitely.
why you run.
Yeah, you have not really the space to run, right? It's like, I would love to see you in this position, Dowd. It would be a fun one.
Thank you, Jordan. But yeah, I would probably do at this point like what Viper is doing. Just try to idle as much as possible. Maybe pick villager or 2. Important is to dodge as many Mangonel shots as you can, so they bother him as much as possible.
Yeah.
You'll obviously die, but you want them longer.
Yeah, and now with the second Mangonel, this army is not going to last for too long here. Both players are dancing here, but you know, the fate of those skirms is written, I think.
Yeah, he's just trying to get as much value as possible. I think he did snipe 1 extra skirmisher, and maybe not the best trade in the end.
Do you think it was worth it for Viper? I mean, he was able to clean up the entire crossbow mass in the top of his base, but he lost a lot of skirms in exchange here. Yes, he caused some idle time if you look at the work efficiency. Obviously, Tato's is a little bit lower than Viper's, but he also has a lot more villagers.
He needed those skirms to do slightly more because Viper is 4 TC bombing behind. He really wants to catch up, so those needed to hold slightly more.
Yeah. So what do you think are the winning conditions right now for Viper? Because Tato, he has a huge lead economically, and Britain's, you know, their Imperial Age is very, very, very strong. So
not bad at all. Like, Britain's benefit on those map positions a lot. Like, you want to be close to your opponent because your units are not mobile. You want a castle in front of enemy base and one strong, steady push.
Yeah, you know, I just love the way Tato is playing this one. It's been a long time since I have seen him like this clutch, right? Everything is on point. There is not one single slip off, and now with the crossbows and the 3 Mangonels here.
Slip off? You wanted a slip off? Yeah, not a single one.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's best not to say anything anymore as a caster, because then nothing happens in the game, right? It's like the curse.
Everything we did was wrong.
Yeah.
But really nice little position that hill to take the TC down. Like that was the most efficient Magolo spot he could find.
Yeah, beautiful. With the hill here, it's always putting so much pressure on your opponent, and I feel like Viper needs to upgrade his knights, and that's exactly what he's doing. And he needs like 4 knights to clean up this army here.
I think this is a typical Viper play now. He will not even think about TP real age. He wants full map control back with knights and few cavalry archers just to be behind the wood lines.
Yeah.
I think we will see something like that here.
Yeah, he does that so often with civs like Hans or Tatars, right? Where
You played against him as well, eh?
Yeah, I know him pretty well, and you know, he sticks into the cast stage for such a long time, and he somehow makes it work. But usually that's the time where it's like
Such
the
a
archers.
micro.
This is just a beautiful micro here by Viper, obviously. However, Tato, he didn't really care too much about that army, did he?
Well, it was an army that's supposed to buy more time than this. I think he cared a little bit. Not sure if castle is the way. That's the most. That army was supposed to buy time for this castle.
Yeah.
And
Is that a doubt castle doubt?
I mean, for me, every castle in my head goes up, so
You cannot
the one to ask.
You're not the person to ask, but I just don't think it's going to happen, right? Because Tato has such a big army here, 12 against 20, and you know, those crossbows and skirms are just going to keep those units away here. And Viper, he realizes the situation he is in right now. He cannot charge into that. His opponent right now has clicked up to Imperial Age, so he's roughly 3 minutes away from getting the next tech upgrade here. And, you know, looking at the overall stats.
Right?
Huh?
The position on the map, they were so close. That castle is defensive, protecting his entrance economy, his production, and also partly aggressive as well.
Yeah.
Like it's on the same screen as the Viper's economy.
Yeah. It's just rough for Viper. Like, he's trying to get something done with the CA here. This is a beautiful move. This is also very typical for him, just being annoying with the units he has here. And I think that's something he learned from you.
Yeah, like I said, he will play cavalry archers behind the wood lines while raiding with knights, but I don't see the knights.
Yeah. He just doesn't have the economy for that, and that's also a very typical Viper move, going for the heavy plow. Very greedy, and
He's up to him. I go heavy plow.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but you know, he's adding archer ranges. He's really trying to, you know, just
do maximum what he got.
Yeah,
he's really doing that. Like those little reads. And conversion number 2, if it happens, it will be really bad for Ipato. When does it happen?
Yeah,
the Viper, it's not that type of player.
Yeah, hand card coming in as well for Tato. So his economy is just so superior compared to his opponent. And also with the archers here in the front, you know, he's always able to tickle back and forth with his extra range here. And
in 2 extra range.
Exactly, 35 seconds, and then all of a sudden those crossbows will have 9 range instead of 8. And another beautiful castle here. As you mentioned out, with Britons especially, it's so much about positioning.
You need to completely make game like Arena. We fight on one place, I have better range, you have no solution.
Yeah.
One step by step. Like Britons are only one of the best Black Forest heroes.
Yeah. And Hans on the other side, GG being called here by the Viper. He knows the situation is not you know, manageable for him anymore. And you know, it was a very interesting clash because Hans against Britons, we have seen this matchup for a long time, for decades, right? It's very classic, and as you mentioned, Britons is very strong positionally. They're very strong if it's about fighting in one spot, and Hans, completely different. They really excel.
The position on map was so, like, it's random. That's why Age of Empires is also a super fun game. It's always fixed position. You can be here, you can be there, you can be behind him. It all depends, and you need to adapt.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, this time it worked out for Tato better. Maybe Viper needed to adapt by pushing harder in feudal, so he keeps Britons at home instead of being other way around in Castle Age. That's actually something to think about in future as well.
Yeah, definitely something which is beautiful as well as casters. You know, actually, you learn as well. You're like, this is nice.
Analyze the games, right? I think I know the game, but when you talk aloud and brainstorm with somebody, you learn a thing or two.
So what would you say is the big takeaway from Viper's position? Like, was adding the blacksmith instead of the second arch range a mistake, or should he have pushed way faster, maybe forward tower? What do you think he could have done better there?
Probably once he realized he's up to the Castle Age, probably he should have gone forward tower, keep him contained, go longer feudal, be aware that counter-attack might pop out. You will have stone for defensive tower as well.
Yep.
I would approach like that, but again, different players, different approaches.
Yep.
And next game is
Arena. So that is also, Arena. I'm really curious because we have Viper as Bohemians, and Bohemians is one of the strongest.
He loves them.
And his playstyle, he's also, there are players that are very fast-paced, like they love the mobility. I'm a person like that, you are as well, Doubt. And then you have players like,
Action all the time.
Exactly, action, bam, bam, bam. And Viper, he does both. He loves the mobility, but he's also excelling in this very slow pushes with siege, with halberdiers, and he's
very
just
patient.
so
He's
good
very
with that.
patient.
Now,
He knows how to quick walk. How he's in the third place, like
Yeah.
competition is just insane, right?
yeah. It's just beautiful to see him doing those kind of things. And but Tato, I think if I'm not mistaken, he still has Turks, right? Or what's that? One?
Turks, most likely Turks against Bohemians.
Is it going to be Turks against Bohemians? I think so as well. These are the two.
The other map where they can be used, right?
Yeah. So Turks against Bohemians. I was thinking about that a lot as well in the preparation. Like, which civilization do you really prefer? Because I think Bohemians is easier to play.
I would heavily avoid that matchup. For me, like, it's all about Bomber Cannon Micro.
Yeah.
Like, you have faster with more HP, more mobility of Nissa, or 2x range. Like, both I will fail with Micro. Like, I will do Britain just to avoid that matchup. I mean, it's very hard to control, and those are most expensive units in the game.
So yeah. We don't see Bohemians here. We have Gujaris for the Viper against Turks. And when I saw the draft, I was like, I talked about that one with you guys, I think. And for Turks, they don't have an answer to Gujaris. The Gujaris counter them on every single level.
Wouldn't there be more tournaments in future? Like, keep it.
Okay, so Doubt, Turks should be better than Gujaris here. No?
I mean, they have Janissaries, they counter everything they have. Like, camels are useless.
Yeah, I mean, Turks are going to open Janissary and then just shred, right?
Like,
no, but
yeah.
It's very tough, I think, in Turks as the Turks player, and because with Gujaris you have the Shramsha Rider, which has the beautiful utility that they block every shot,
And decent
their
speed
first
as well.
shots, right? Huh?
And decent speed as well. They're quite fast for unit.
Yeah, kind of. So it's very tough as the Turk player. And CA has your combination. That's also something which is very common as the Turk player. It's also not going to, trade well against the Camel or and the Camel and Shramsha Rider. So it's going to be very tough. And also one thing which lacks for the Turk player, funnily enough, also for the Gujar player, but they don't care too much about it. They don't have pikemen. They don't have halberdier.
Both don't need that, right?
Yeah.
And like, Arena, free light cap upgrade for Turks was dominating.
Yeah.
And now, we just counter that, right? You start with a camel that will automatically upgrade to the normal camel, and that will absolutely destroy that light cap.
Do you think in that regard it's better for Gujaris? Because I always feel like the camel itself is a huge threat, yes, but it is also
converted.
Exactly.
It's to you now.
Exactly. That's the problem, right? So I'm not sure how that fight for the relics is going to look like. If we look at the relic position, I would say Viper has a slight edge here in that regard, as 3 relics are a bit closer to him compared to Tato. But do you think relic numbers are going to be a big factor here, Doubt?
Like, if it's 2 against 2 relics, I always feel it's same. If it's 4 against 1, you have a lead, but 3 against 2, I never feel the difference.
Yeah. And also, like, if you are, if you have less relics, you feel like you need to pressure, or you feel like certain pressure.
If the game goes longer, I lose. Like, he will get unlimited amount of gold.
But 3 against 2, it's not a big of a difference. Anyway, Doubt, as you are, and that is obviously also a big, pleasure for me, for all the viewers here, to have you with all the mastermind thinking.
So emotional.
Yeah. So what do you think? You're like a former arena champion. Walk us through us. Like, as Gujaris, how would you approach it in Viper's position?
Well, arena meta has been changing through the years. Like, these days, the scout monk meta is so powerful that not even the biggest arena clowns can find a way to deal with that. They're actually changing the maps to build the smaller distance in the middle and such. It just doesn't work. Scouts opening and monks to pick up relics, convert everything to counter scouts. It's just too powerful. And then obviously depends on the matchup. You need to adapt what units you want to make in Imperial Age.
Okay, so you would say both players will go for the scout monk play
Absolutely.
at the beginning. How do you transition out of it? as both players? Like, let's say Viper. Which unit does he want to go for? And what makes him choose a certain unit? What does he need to explore?
Like Chakram Throwers would be a go-to unit, but I think this is the first time we will see them since the recent patch, right? When they lost quite a bit of DPS.
Why do you think the Chakram Thrower is so important for Viper in his unit composition?
Well, you're actually maybe right there. Like, there is no spearman, there is no infantry. Yeah, he can just shred everything with camels only, right?
I think Camel and Shravamsha Rider would be the best unit composition, right? Because Viper doesn't, Tato doesn't
You're
really
actually
have...
right about that one.
Tato
I mean,
doesn't...
Janissaries could be problematic early game.
But you have the Shravamsha Rider to that. So if I think, I'm just thinking out loud here, I don't think in this matchup you need the Chakram Throwers.
I start to agree. I learned something from Jordan today.
Yes! Are we live? Is that recorded? But okay, so we both agree that Camel and Shravamsha Rider should be the go-to units here.
It's for the Imperial Age. Like Castle Age, if Tato is pushing with Janissaries and few camels as a mid shield, 1 or 2 monk to get conversion, it gets out of control really fast. Like one bad fight and you will never have enough units to stop a Turk player.
I like this idea because I was thinking about it as well. If I'm the Turk player and I face against most likely Camels, Shravamsha Rider, I don't have any utility in my tech tree to fight that. So you need to force the issue, right? Like I personally...
With full economy, I will lose. But when the game is fragile, when every unit matters, well, Janissaries with their range is going to make a difference.
Exactly. So you would most likely go for Janissary in Camel composition, right?
Yeah, I think that's the way. That's how arena players will do it.
Yep.
Maybe open the stable to grab relics, but transition should be castle in Viper phase.
Yep. So we see Viper with stable and market, so very standard play here, completely meta, exactly what we talked about. Tato on the other side, if I'm not mistaken, he has also added here the blacksmith and stable. Now, walk us through us.
I always go for the market.
You always go for the market.
Yes,
what do you think is the benefit of blacksmith compared to the market?
It's cheaper, basically, and it's like habit to do those 2 buildings. Like you invest 25 more wood, and you will always have that market to help you balance economy. Especially if you pick up like 4 or 5 relics, your gold income will skyrocket, and you just buying food will improve your booming by quite a bit.
Yeah, so literally just by the opening we can make the statement that with the market opening by Viper, he has a small edge here because the blacksmith is only really useful if you plan to put an aggression with the siege push or you want to upgrade your units, but that's not very likely to happen here. And on the other side we see also Tato, he's not really on stone, so it's going to be very standard play here, Dowd.
I see this game as Tato going triple TC.
Yep.
The relic fight will be beginning equal, and then after the relic fight is over, Tato will add few extra camels, few extra light cave just to get that map present and get the forward castle.
Okay, so 3 TC into faster imp into pushing, so there is no 4 TC by Tato.
I think there is no time for 4 TC, and there is no need as well.
Yep.
You need the pushing tools. I mean, maybe Tato knows better, but like we said, I think Urjaras just dominate this matchup if the games goes absolutely even.
Yeah, there was a matchup, I think in the qualifiers, Villese played against someone. I think it was ACCM if I'm not mistaken. ACCM was Turks, Villese was Gujaras, and like ACCM, like no chance. There was nothing he could have done. And
that's where you learn, eh? And
I'm watching recording. It's not like I came up with that with my idea.
Now I get it.
Zero talent, Dowd.
Zero talent. And now you're a talent.
Yeah, I finally achieved it. So yeah, indeed, we see Tato planting down the monastery. On the other side, Viper adding the second TC himself. Lightcav upgrade coming in. Monastery planted as well. Second wood upgrade for both players. So both players are pretty much...
Everything is mirror.
Yeah, both players are on point in that regard. And now, if we take a look at the skirmish of Scout, Camel, Monk Wars, Spearman involved as well. Now, what is like the 2-3 most important things you have to think about in those kind of engagements?
Economy, to be honest.
Economy, really?
You cannot let your production slip off. Like we said, if you will have 3 relics or 2, it's not a huge difference. And those relics that are far away, like the last one in the middle, you will lose a lot of monks trying to get that one. You will get it in the end, but you will always get the monk snipe because such a distance, long distance to the home, old players can micro at high level and they will keep sniping 1 and 1. You need that with constant villager production, constant farm making, so your Imperial Age time doesn't hurt.
Yep. Would you say it is more important, or should you focus more on the relics which are further away from you, or the closer ones? Because the closer ones are safer, but if you get the ones in the front, then you're in a good position all of a sudden.
I'm also a very greedy player, but I would always go for the closer one. It's not that they are safer, it's you get them faster, and you get that small tickle of the gold income, right?
Yeah. So beautiful pickoff by Viper. He was able to kill one light calf, and this doesn't look like it's a huge thing, but we know it is a huge thing.
Yeah,
it
every
is a
light cam matters here,
thing.
absolutely matters. And look at the Viper Camel. He doesn't want it in front anymore. Monks are on the field, and if it gets converted, suddenly it's super hard for that.
Yeah.
Let's see the block. Will it make it? One conversion, no conversion.
Oh, and
One conversion.
there are two conversion. That is huge for Tato. This is so huge, and
Game changing actually.
the game changes completely. I mean, there is no monk on the field anymore for both players, and this or in the middle, and now the camel even dies
You like here on the map?
to those light calves.
And double
then-
monk.
And he will kill those monks as well, and he will be able to keep the gate open. Oh, that is disastrous. That is completely disastrous. And now we have light calf in for Tato, and like Viper doesn't have loom. This is the worst scenario it could have been
Viper
in.
is forced to make a camel probably here just to push those light cam away, right?
Yeah.
Monks will not do it.
Yeah. Oh my God. This is a scenario we barely see, but
Ooh, I don't
okay.
like this.
This is obviously nice for Viper. Very nice reaction. Now with the camel, he's going to kill all those 3 light calf without getting
Such
too
a
much
nice
damage.
lead, and Tato got too greedy, right? He wanted more. He knows there is no loom at this point of the game.
Yeah.
He wanted the damage with light cab, and in the end, he might find a villager killer or so, but those 3 light cab would be much more valuable on the map.
Yeah. What do you think about the fact that Viper did not
not.
go for loom yet? At this point,
And
you
they
have
go
to
to
think
loom.
it was a mistake, right?
When those go thin, probably you should click loom, right?
Yeah. And beautiful utilization here by Tato. He's always, keeping the light calf away from the other 2 light calves, so the camel is chasing him.
Lure
And
one out, and the other 2 do the damage.
Crazy. I mean, the camel cleaned up those light calf, yes. However, he lost 3 villagers in the process, and there was some idle time as well. So this was a huge momentum shift for Tato. And then meanwhile, he didn't take the time though to grab relics.
Exactly, like
I'm surprised by that though.
not a single one yet, right?
What happened there? Was he too busy? What do you think?
He was microing, he was searching for damage. It's hard, like Arena is actually APM consuming. You need to boom, you need to control the monks. Every unit is fragile, like if monk runs into the light cab, they're gone. And other way around, it's like you need to babysit everything, you need to get your conversions. It's very tough to play Arena opening.
It is quite funny, because as a player, if you're not really into the depth of the game, you look at it like you have stone walls, it's booming, like it's very chill. But it's not. Like, it's so APM. Stressful. It is like you have to keep everything working at home. You have to micro in the front. You have to do so many things. And there is this moment when you're fighting for the relics where it's really, really stressful here.
It's intense, for sure. It's like, I think every my Arena game is like, we have those intense relic battles, and then I look my wood line, 1,000 wood.
Exactly.
Then let's spam those farms.
Yeah, it's just super tough. And yeah, overall, we see that both players have the second wood upgrade. Heavy plow is in as well. No wheelbarrow yet for Tato. And Viper on the other side, he has wheelbarrow almost finished. And he also goes for husbandry. So he's going to chase down those light calf as his are faster now out.
Yeah, and that will also help that camel to actually be able to get some damage done on the light cab.
Also, yeah, like
3 relics with the Viper in the end.
How? Like
5 after that conversions.
Doubt, how is that possible? I felt when Tato was in there on the gate, the game
is over. I felt. He got greedy, right? Oh, look at the micro.
Oh, nice, beautiful done here by Tato, kind of ignoring here the...
Was that the conversion in double kill?
There was a conversion. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Vodka. That one is good. But yeah, the relic obviously will not be able to get home. But now with the 3 monks, do you engage here or do you disengage?
I think you just delete the camel and go in. 1, 2...
Nothing. That was doubt. I feel like that was you playing. No conversion happening.
I mean, they're not supposed to convert light here, right?
Yeah.
There was
okay. Yeah. There was one. This is good stuff.
He's helping us.
Yeah, guys, we're not used to casting. No, so 76 villagers for Tato. Both players have exactly the same economical upgrades here. Hasperny now going to be upgraded here by Tato as well. 20 seconds remaining. However,
I still can't get over that dive in with the light kill. Like,
yeah,
he traded 4 relics for the 3 villager kill.
yeah, yeah. So this is obviously. I understand what Tato was thinking. He's like, okay, my opponent most likely doesn't have the loom. He will be able to deal damage, but no. And we see a huge shift here. Cavalry archers being created here by Tato. And with those cav archers, he's going to be able to get the map control because Viper doesn't really have the units out there to stop that. But however, is the rally going to get home, and is he going to throw it to the other side of the base?
Viper move! We don't see from his webcam.
Oh, the relic is in here! The relic is in. Doubt, we talked about it. 3 against 2, not a big deal. 4 against 1 relics.
You feel the pressure.
Completely
you feel the heat.
different.
You feel the heat. Like you have weaker Imperial HT, opponent got 4 relics. You need to end it fast.
1 villager being picked off by Tato once more. And now both players on the way to Imperial Age. Viper a little bit earlier. However, and that's I think the biggest factor, there is something very special about Turks here, Doubt.
What is it, Jordi?
They have something for free, which takes a lot of time to upgrade.
And what they can make after that?
The bombard cannons.
Oh, damn right.
The good
that
old bombard
timing
cannons.
is so important on the arena because usually arena is Trevor.
Yep.
Until the bomber cannons can kick in, and
Yep.
chemistry is a long tech.
Yep.
So having that in your arsenal right away is such a huge boost.
Exactly, and that's also one of the reasons why Bohemians or Turks are so powerful on arena. Because arena, I would say most important thing is position. And with early bombard cannons, you're going to be able to capture a lot of that positioning on the map, and from there you can obviously dictate the game. And now the Wolf have
Both, right? It's good for pushing and it's good to defend. If you're being pushed, getting that instantly is
exactly
game changing.
Exactly, and I personally like what Tato is doing, and we talked about that earlier in this game. You expected the 3 TC forward with the castle there, obviously 4 TC, but in terms of the thinking, a bit passive, right? But the thinking is there, and now the Siege Workshop as well, so he's going to be able to create bombard cannons right away upon reaching Imperial Age. And Viper on the other side, we see scale-boarding armor coming in. So he is very focused on the cavalry production. We assume Shrivamsha Rider and Camels is going to be the mix.
Right? Yeah. I'm a bit surprised with that position with the Tato Castle. Like, you are Turks, you will get chemistry for free. You had that dive in with the light cav, you know your Imperial Age will be probably slightly faster as well.
Exactly.
But
and
he went for a defensive one.
Yeah, and also I would understand it if he bases his composition on unique units from the castle, but that's not going to be the case. Like, Janissaries is not going to be a main factor of his army, so you can, in theory, risk losing the castle here as long as you're able to, you know, get some damage in, forcing the issue up on your opponent, and yeah,
push
maybe
him over the goal, basically.
Huh?
If he push him over the goal, there are no camels, and then Turks will be unstoppable.
That's pretty huge as well. And Stables coming in, so we will see a camel shift from Tato, scaffolding armor coming in, heavy camel upgrade as well. But, you know, there is something very special about Gujara camel. Doubt.
Ooh, what they do?
Very special. As far as I know, they are attacking in Imperial Age 40% faster in Imperial Age, right? It was 20% in Fuel Age, 30% in Cast Age, and 40% in Imperial Age, if I'm not mistaken here. And also they have a unique tech, which is also very helpful. What
does he do?
No, this I answered the first one, you answered the second one.
It makes every military unit cheaper on foot. It's insane.
That one and the other one with the armor.
The other one, Imperial Age upgrade, is +4 armor, belly armor for the camels.
Yeah, exactly. You
play some role in the camel fight. Like, your camels will do bonus damage, and they're really tanky.
Yep. Gujaras, they don't have bombard cannons themselves, so that's not going to be an option for the Viper. So Gujaras is not really a typical arena civilization because of that, but it's just a beautiful counter to Turks in theory. But Tato does a very good job so far, Doubt.
Well, Viper will want to wait for the big fight as long as possible.
Yep.
Like when those are small fights right now, small number of units, Viper can kite him down, snipe a camel, snipe Shamsha Raider. But once it's 200 population, full army, you cannot out-micro that. Even if you try to out-micro, you will overkill a lot.
Exactly. I like what Viper is doing. He has 800 stone in the bank. Many players would place the second castle, but that's not what he needs. He needs right now the castle to survive as long as possible, and the siege push is going to come very, very soon. No fletching in for Viper, so therefore the castle is not going to range to those CA. Tato obviously, abusing that to a certain degree, and is trying to get out as much as possible with his army. But now we see a huge engagement, and with the two outposts, Tato sees everything, but Viper on the other side, he does not, and he retreats.
Second of the, I was like, it's too early, Viper, you're a patient guy, and yeah, he wants to have 200 population before he pushes out.
Yeah.
He was confident, he was thinking, but then he showed the camels.
And now the frontier guards is going to kick in very, very soon as well. And doubt, if you're a camel, you don't want to fight against a Gujarat camel except you're the Hindustani's Imperial camel. So
even those, like, that's a lot of armor, it's a lot of bonus damage. It's very strong combination here.
Yeah, and this is exactly the unit composition which is so lethal to the Turk player. How can you really deal with it? I think the army which Tato goes for is the best he can go for, but like the engagement is going to be very one-sided. I would assume in my head. Let's see how that one is going to go.
Focus camels with cavalry archers, and that's not easy in this mess.
Exactly. I mean, Viper was trying to go with the Shramshrider directly to the CA, and the engagement here so far looks very equal. However, in terms of quality, Viper units should mass or be better here, but it feels like Tato is winning, doesn't it?
Tato positioned himself absolutely perfect between two castles, and that siege workshop also provides some protection as well, but still not enough.
It's just not enough. The quality of the units is just the main thing here, and also with the traps he's going...
They're also cheaper of the target.
Yeah, exactly.
It's stronger and cheaper unit.
Yeah. It's so tough for Tato here. I mean, he still had the score lead for a moment. Like, it felt equalish. However, the army production from Viper is just overwhelming here, and also with the traps, taking one first castle, second castle is going to be sieged in a moment as well, taking down the outpost. Bomber cannons is going to be such an important a tool here for Tato by for killing the trebuchet here.
Ideally, you want to have 3 of them so you one-shot the trap, but you cannot wait for the third one.
Yeah. However, I have to say, 177 population for Tato.
Oh, nice.
150 only for Viper. I feel like Tato is winning.
Tato is doing maximum to this situation, and he's holding for now.
He's holding.
2 traps.
Yeah, I mean the bomber cannon I think that was the perfect engagement here by Tato, and we see...
It's reinforcements. I'm kind of surprised there was like no second wave.
Crazy. It feels like Viper didn't have the economy to support the masses of units he needed here on the left-hand side. Is he going to be able to stonewall this area in time? It looks like that, and that is so important, but there are going to be CA coming very, very soon.
Feels like Viper is missing production. I think it's only like 5 stables, maybe 7 if I see correct.
How many are there? There are 11.
Okay. I was wrong.
So it must be the economy, right? He doesn't have the economy right now to really get going here. And just in theory, I don't understand how this is possible. But okay, Viper with a huge camel mass, he has 38 camels against 28 and 18 heavy cav archers.
I don't care about Shamsha Raiders anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I will only go camels. They got the bonus damage against your camels. They got the bonus damage against cavalry archer.
Exactly.
That's the only unit I need.
Exactly.
And it's cheaper.
Exactly. Like in low numbers, obviously the CA are very annoying, like where you cannot afford building a lot of camels. But in this stage, both players around 135 villagers, so they have the economy to get out a lot of military here, and obviously.
Also, Tato is going for the 2 different unit types, so he needs to way more resources to upgrade. Like Viper units are both cavalry, both melee.
Exactly.
Tato needs a range unit upgrade, he needs cavalry archer, he needs to invest a lot into all that.
Exactly, it's so much harder for Tato to make his composition work. Yeah.
So many upgrades.
Yeah, exactly. It's just very, very expensive. And, you know, we talked about the quality here. And now, if I'm in Tato's position, yes, I have the map control, but I would not want to face against those.
And also for relics.
For relics, yeah. I mean, there are extra resources on the map on Arena, so Tato is enjoying those for sure. However,
They are limited, and relics last forever.
Exactly, they're limited. So you're on time here if you're in Tato's position. And also one thing which is very important as a Turk player, you depend on gold.
Exactly, I was about to say.
You depend on
He
gold.
needs to finish the game while the gold
Exactly.
is... Like, there is no hubs, there is no elite, there is not even pikemen.
Yep.
If he's only good trash unit that doesn't cost gold, it's Hussar.
Yep.
I would not like to make Hussar in this matchup.
No, that's not a beautiful one. And Doubt, if you look at the overall situation, Tato has the map control, yes, with the 2 castles. But which position do you prefer here?
I mean, even if Viper had 0 relics, I think I would still prefer his position.
Yep. It's just the quality of the units, and we see a big engagement here, and that one doesn't look healthy for Tato at all. He is forced into a fight he doesn't really want to take here. Yeah, the CA are safe in the back here, but...
Shivansha Raider used to just snipe those bomber cannons and give the chaps chance to kill that castle.
Yeah.
Really good, like, full cleanup.
Yeah, and it's just a complete cleanup here. 185 population against 156. The 2 trebuchet are still alive here, so the castle is being sieged all the time. And yeah, it's just the economy. Look at the economy for Viper. It's just, there is no overboom here. 126 villagers, so the rest of it is all going into the military. 66 military against 36. And Tato, obviously, he knows the position he is in. Ideally...
That's the problem when you play this composition. Like,
Yeah.
Viper, only camels patrol,
Yep.
no place farms.
Exactly.
Tato, if one slip off, everything melts, everything dies.
Yep.
Tato is always on the foot. He needs to micro bomber cannon to snipe traps. He needs to always have killer archers save.
Yep.
It's way harder.
Ideally, you want to use the CA mass to go forward, snipe a camel, go back, go forward, go back, like stuff like that. But he doesn't have the time to do so because maybe he doesn't really care. As you said, just patrol those in. And yeah, how do you beat that composition? It's just a very tough one to do as Turks.
Also,
Ideally, you want halberdiers.
Range units benefit a lot from the hills of the map. Arena doesn't have hills.
Exactly. And this is kind of the biggest weakness of Turks, that they die to this kind of composition from Gujaras because they don't have access to pike, they don't have access to halberdiers, obviously. And on the left-hand side, Tato is trying to be sneaky. He still has the score lead, yes, but I think at this point out, it's kind of misleading, isn't it?
Viper is grinding the map control slowly back, like he is killing the second castle. He is even sending the villagers to take the middle gold. He doesn't even care about losing at this point. He just wants, like, even if he loses those villagers mining gold, the gold is out of the map. He wants gold to be out of the map.
Exactly. It's more about him taking away from the opponent and not taking it for himself. But obviously that's a nice side product of it as well. And now we are about to witness the second or the third castle even of Tato being demolished here. And, you know, I feel like there is not too much more savage possibilities.
Maybe one thing that Turks can do. Did you maybe see MBL Sito game?
Oh my god. Yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't do that.
I don't think there's any player who could pull off something like that except MBL, honestly.
Like, what MBL did was pull bomber towers on the map and bomber cannons to snipe traps. Both of them have insane range. You need to be super patient.
Yeah.
And I think actually that would be a right call here. Earlier, now he
Early, yeah. Obviously now Tato is committed to the unit composition he has. 190 population against 170, so Viper is about to surround the CA here, and this is just a very bad position to be in. Ideally he wants to have Hussars in front as a sort of a buffer. It's not a good buffer because the camels spread everything. But yeah, Tato has to you know, realize...
Like a counter unit here, does it?
Yeah, just, it's crazy, right? And honestly, Doubt, I'm not sure what you think about it, but it felt way closer than I was expecting. At one point, I even thought that Tato is winning that one because he had at one point 170 population against the 140 of Viper. It felt like Viper doesn't come in with the reinforcements. I was like, what's going on here, Doubt?
But still, even then, it's really hard to push through the Gujaras. Like we said, he's only taking into one unit, means he's saving so much resources. But Tato need to do heavy cavalry archer, Tam Ring, Bracer, chemistry he gets for free, but at least like a lot of investment and also production. Like he needs 7-8 ranges. It's hard to match all of that up.
For sure. You know, one thing I was thinking about of this matchup, I played once against MBL on the qualifiers, and the Shravamsha riders died to a lot of CA. So I'm thinking, is it maybe an option to ignore the camels, go AD CA as Turks?
Well, you need insane micro. You need heals. Like, the map is like, Arena is designed like that. If you hide back, your castle dies. If your castle dies, you lose space, and space is also reaches on arena.
Yeah.
You're cornered, you cannot escape anymore.
Yeah.
And just push it, like killing house at that point hurts.
Yeah. What other options do you have? You could, in theory, also go for CA champions.
Like, we also were thinking he wanted Bohemians. We need to point out that Hyper Draft was super smart. Like,
Yeah.
he knew like Bohemians are super solid team. He could went for them, but Gurjaras, pre-win.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, we didn't even recognize that. Good thinking by Viper for sure.
I take a little bit of, you know, bragging from that as well, because it was my idea. I'm just kidding.
Really?
No, I came up with the idea, right, that Gujaras is the counter to Turks.
You told that to Viper before the games?
I told it 2 days ago.
Let's spam Ritos to support
for Jordan. But no, what do you think of CA champions as Turks? I don't think that's bad.
Well, then Chakran Thrower was sent to the game.
That takes time.
Last time the champions, like champions is a long tech. And you don't need to full upgrade the Chakran Throwers. You just need 20 of them and they are like shredding everything in the line.
That's something I will have to test.
Oh, you already know something. Okay.
Okay, Daud.
You were prepared for this tournament.
Of course.
What happened?
After I got after I went 3-0 against you, I was like, okay, life cannot get any worse.
Why? At least you won the show match.
Thank you. I found a good strategy against you. Anyway, Daud, we have 4 maps potentially remaining: Gold Rush, Atacama, Land Madness, Northern Isles. In the past tournaments, it always was like you picking your own home maps. Now it's different. You can also everything is open. So what do you think now Tato is going to aim for?
I think he will just go for good old Gold Rush.
I was thinking exactly the same. Why do you think that?
He is very confident on this map. When we were speaking earlier, he was like, I was asking him, what's your home map? He was Gold Rush.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't even think. Like, Gold Rush was his first choice, and I think he picked it first as well.
He picked it second. Yeah. So Arabia was more important to him, rightfully so. He Yeah. We got the information right now that indeed Daud and I were right with our assumption.
Sometimes
we are going to
get correct.
Yeah. It's like we don't always have to curse Daud. You could say that we have a little bit of knowledge.
Yes.
Yep.
During the game, we're not so good. Now let's get civilizations then.
Okay. What do you think? Mayans obviously is still open. Mayans is a very strong civ on Gold Rush. Dravidians, I don't really see that happening. Japanese, not so much as well. Which civ is he going to go for here, Daud?
Viper, it's like easier.
Viper,
he got Tatars, Berbers, even Khmer is
Yeah.
super solid, but actually he's planning to use Japanese.
Japanese on Gold Rush? I don't see that happening. I see
Maybe
a world.
Byzantines?
I see a world where Byzantines is a thing. Byzantines! Byzantines!
We got confirmation it's Byzantines.
Yeah, it's Byzantines, yeah. I think it's the only civ which makes sense here in Tato's draft.
Especially when you look at the Viper teams, it's like Byzantines will do good against Tatars, we do good against Berbers. No risk taking them, right?
Yep. I'm just wondering which civ Viper is going to pick here. I mean,
if he's mind reader,
we just got the information.
Yeah.
It is going to be Tatars indeed, guys. So Byzantines against Tatars. I personally have not seen that matchup in Gold Rush. I've seen a lot of Tatars against Berbers.
Tatars is like very popular pick on Gold Rush.
Exactly.
And it's always against Berbers for some reason, like every single time.
Yeah, exactly. And now with Byzantines, Daud, what do you think about Byzantines here in Gold Rush, especially against Tatars?
Like Byzantines is the classic team that's probably the best balance in the game. They are not there. In the whole history of Age of Empires, they were never broken, and they were always there. Even from the day one, when everybody played hands, Byzantines was an option even then. Like they don't have weak matchup, they don't have super strong matchup, they're just solid.
And the thing about Byzantines, which I love so much, is they are counter civilizations. They are not really the powerhouse.
There is one. Sicilians.
Yeah, not so much anymore. Because
actually, they got nerfed.
So halberdiers are fine now against those. But the thing is, Byzantines, they don't have any economical advantage. This is just a very standard civilization. However, they have a counter to everything, almost.
Cheaper.
And they're cheaper. So they don't really need the economy upgrades or the bonus there, right? So a very interesting civ and something I personally love so much about Byzantines. Do you know what it is?
Cheaper Imperial Age or Town Watch, actually. You're a Town Watch guy.
And
Not
Town
even
Patrol.
Town Patrol, like.
Town Patrol. And that is so huge. So, and their buildings are strong as well. They have more HP. So a very defensive civ. Countering and more HP. On the other side is Tatars. They excel on maps that have hills. Doubt, why is that?
They have amazing hill bonus. How much percent was it?
25.
Really?
I have no idea. I just wanted to.
Now it's 25.
I just wanted to check if you knew.
You're so confident.
Yeah, 25.
Like hill bonus as it is absolutely insane. And with that extra, you just never want to fight
Exactly.
just on the hill. And on this map, all the gold is in the middle, and there is a hill in the middle as well.
Exactly. And if you look at the middle, it's just a huge, huge mountain, a huge hill, right? And that's why Tatars is such a favorized pick on this one here, on Gold Rush. And you know, it's tricky to play Gold Rush because you obviously have a very reduced amount of gold in your bases, so that kind of forces you onto the map, onto the middle. So we see a lot of fighting here in the middle on these maps usually. Doubt, what do you think is the most common or best opening here? Because do you think it's dependent on the civilization, or do you think there is a clear way? Because Scouts opening is very famous, but also Drush into fast castle walling.
Like Josh is slightly trickier on this map because it got plenty of falls on the map, and if you run into them, your Josh is dead. Popular pick late, like Gold Rush is very aggressive map, but at the same time, it's quite easy to wall at home.
Yeah.
So you need to balance idea and scout properly. 3 TC boom into full castle age or 1 TC boom into pressuring enemy. A lot of good options.
Yep.
Even feudal age we see from time to time.
Yep.
Obviously, as determined, people don't want to take risk. Feudal age is always risk on this map. So, like, if you go feudal age and, for example, you see the Viper map, back wall, back stone, easy wall, you will not break him, right?
Yep.
So you usually choose to go for the castle.
Yep. What I personally love about Gold Rush in this tournament is there are obviously many different versions of Gold Rush out there, and most of the time Gold Rush is very, very easy to wall, right? Like way, way easier than this one here. But the spawning of these maps here is it's so open in the front. So if you can wall, yes, but it is a huge investment.
Well.
Yeah, exactly. It's a huge investment, right? And that kind of invites, you know, aggression from your opponent as well. So I'm really curious how both players are going to approach it. Both players are going to go to fuel age rather fast here. One villager more for Viper, so he will be a bit delayed here. But yeah, I think...
Always a fast up time, but you don't want to apply the pressure. It's just for the safety. In case enemy is doing something tricky, you want to be safe. And obviously having the economy upgrades early, it slows down your castle age time, but gives you more resources to work with when you get castle age.
Exactly, and you have the safety, right?
And
because
safety, exactly.
if you're fuel age and your opponent tries to do something in fuel age as well, it's not going to happen because you have the same possibilities as your opponent here. And we see an archer range from Tato.
Oh,
He's
Tato will
not
go
on
for
gold,
the
though.
wolf rush.
He's not on gold. So we will see trash from him all the way. And Byzantine is
No surprise there.
selling that.
No surprise there.
Do you think it's effective though? Because usually if you go for this composition, you want to be in the front, right? To force the issues. From the back, I don't see how you can apply the pressure with skirms.
With wolves, you apply the pressure with wolves. This is such a typical Gold Rush thing.
It's a good idea. Viper obviously
like
on
it,
point again with the scouting. And he's fully walled. Like he doesn't care about the
Those wolves bring him protection now.
Yeah.
Outside protecting his base now.
Yeah. I mean, it's 5-0, so you have to kind of respect them. But it's not what Tato was originally seeking for, because obviously he wanted the wolves to get inside here, to be a bit annoying. But
usually you will not get the kill, but you will like damage the villagers, force the idol.
Yeah.
And it's nice when you have like enemy woodland with half HP villages.
Yeah.
Easier to snipe them later on.
Yeah. So obviously it's a bit unfortunate for Tato here, but Viper on point with the walling, and now both players about to be fully walled. And then we transition into castle age, Doubt. And what do you think both players should go for?
This is where the tasks get it kind of easier. You have choice of knights, camels, lanterns, cavalry archer, crossbow. You have so many good options. You can go forward, see, like kill, everything works for you. You can even go triple TC. Every TC spawn 2 ships. That's 50% last longer ships. It's like 300 foot per TC.
Yep.
Like so many options for the Tatars, and Tato needs to read correct one and react accordingly.
Yeah. So we expected the Tatar player to be the dynamic player here.
Even booming, it's fine, right? So many options. It's really hard to play against the Tatars.
Yeah, for sure. They just have so much flexibility, so much pathways, different pathways they
And every
can
is strong.
go
Every
for.
single one is strong.
Yep, yep. What do you think Viper will go for? Because we obviously know both players pretty well. Look at the farming, the most effective farming you can go for. I, by the way, never do that.
So pretty.
I never do that. I always forget that.
I don't even try. I didn't even know this exists.
Yeah,
Looks really good.
yeah. Stable being planted out by Viper and
Hidden line.
a hidden
Didn't
one.
want to show it next to the wall where reinforcements will be faster, your walls will be stronger. He wanted it hidden.
Why do you think is that the case, Stout?
Let me drink.
Oh, that was perfect. I was really about to ask the question, and then I see you drinking. I was like, let's
I
go.
finished sentence, I take the sip of the drink, and he's like, why do you think that?
Oh, that was perfect. Okay,
Because he
why do
doesn't
you
want to
think
be shown, right?
Yeah, but okay, that's obvious. But why does he plant the stable first? What does he want to follow it up with? Does he go scouts to get map control? Does he go for camel or
Scouts.
knights or knight siege forward? Like, what is he going for?
I think at this point, even Viper doesn't know. He wants that stable, and he will react. He will see the range.
Step lancers.
Of course, I said Lancers as well.
Okay.
But I think if you want to step Lancers, he would have two stables, because they are cheaper, and you want that production to spike
Okay,
out
yeah.
earlier.
Well,
I
it
think
could
maybe
be
just safety to have one production building and react to the Tato while TTC booming. It's kind of Viper greedy style as well.
It's his greedy style, yes. I see a world where he's going for second stable as well, because he also loves to have the map control, right? He
Especially
wants,
on this map.
yeah, he wants to be able to dictate the pace of the game.
Bloodlines.
Huh?
Bloodlines
Oh, Bloodline's coming, so that is an indicator for the second stable, isn't it?
and the gate.
Or does he go for archer ranges into CA?
But
I
this
don't
is some nice
think
little
so.
tell for the future. Like, if you see enemy is doing a gate on the wall, he's preparing something,
Yep,
right?
yep.
He will not randomly do that gate if he's just booming, right?
Yeah, well,
Yes,
that's a good one,
something
though.
to keep in mind.
Good that we're casting together.
Yeah, look at the, well, Tato. He's doing
He's a gate as well, a stone gate.
and stable behind.
Yeah.
There is a gate, there is something
Yeah,
behind.
yeah.
Against
I like
you,
it.
we do gate and boom.
I was about to say that. Now, next time I play against you, I will have a gate and then just boom, just to trick you.
And Wolves are back in town.
The thing is, Tato, he obviously has made the step lancers play very popular, right? So he knows, as Tatars, you have that pathway, and it's always a threat.
Step
So
lancer.
he builds a stable himself, and that's a typical Viper move, right? He's just
Maybe too early for
risking
that, eh?
it. He's risking it. Usually the fight Tato takes here is not the best one. You don't want to fight around hilly areas against the Tars with the scouts, but I think it's going to work out for him.
Tato
isn't it?
solves that. Oh, nice little, like, Viper cancel the TC. He shows Monastery just to confuse Tato. Is it full aggression? And no, it's not full aggression. After he pushed that scout away, I assume he will let TC.
I love the move by Viper, because with the monastery here in the middle, there is absolutely no way for Tato to challenge that position at all. And now, Viper is going to have TC on the biggest elevation here on this map with Tatars.
It can also backfire, right? Your good part of economy, when you make TC early, that means a lot of villages will be produced over time there. And
Yep.
well, we had some games where it went wrong.
Yep.
When I made a TC in the middle,
I
that was not
remember
very well protected.
when there were 3 other players attacking
Yeah,
you.
yeah, it
and the
does.
other one
Here
goes
with
to
the downside
Manganite.
as well. And here are the Lancers hitting the house with the hill.
Yeah.
That looks painful for the house.
We don't see any camels in production for Tato, so he opted to go for scouts instead of camels. So he wants to have the map vision, he wants to see what's going on here. He obviously has the confirmation.
And he did a speed upgrade on the cavalry.
Oh, he
Just
did?
to be able to chase those step
Ooh,
Lancers away
wee.
with, obviously, camels that are cheaper.
I don't like that at all, because that will
Why?
result into a little bit of idle time of the TC. I would assume so, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, technically, you don't want to upgrade units when you have 0 units on the map, but
Yep.
he just wanted that upgrade first, so step Lancers are not such a huge threat when they run away. Like, you want to fight, you want to kill.
Yep. So now with Byzantines, Daud, you mentioned it earlier. Faster, like not faster, but cheaper Imperial Age. And we also mentioned in Arabia game, Viper, especially with Huns and Tatars, he loves to go all out in Castle Age. And when I see a TC on the castle, on the stone, I see a 120 population castle age play by Viper. And yeah, 4th TC as well. No, third TC as well on the on the stone. So no, it's the fourth. My bad. Yeah. So this will be full castle age against a very fast Imperial age. I would assume so, Doubt.
What is this monk upgrade? Like it's a tauntment. He wants to convert monks. I mean,
maybe because okay.
Arena it's very popular to do that when you have map control.
I have the reason. So, he was attacking Tato. Tato defended with monks. So he knows he's playing very greedy. In a way to push him back, he will have the monk to push it back.
Yeah, exactly. Like Tato doesn't have any real units, only one camel. And Viper can now freely mass step planters.
Yep.
And when monk tries to repel that attack, Viper will convert or scare away Tato's monk, and then he can break in and destroy that. Smart thinking. I like.
Very smart thinking. But Tato, he has different plans. He's not going for fast imp. He will mass.
He's done booming.
Exactly. He's done with his mini boom, and he will be able to build a lot of camels now. And the camels is the best unit he can go for against Tatars here. And also got to keep in mind, obviously Tatars, they have access to halberdiers, but they only have access to the first infantry armor. So they're very weak in that regard. The monks are not going to be really successful in the conversions here. But yeah, the next minutes are going to be very interesting because I see a lot of camels and a lot of pressure by Tato.
Tato invested now quite a bit into the stable transition into the camels. He wants the middle back. He knows Viper is in the middle with the TC. Only thing, actually, it's not missing. Tato is on stone. Soon we will see like 10 villagers forward, making a castle next to the Viper TC, and followed up with the camels and monks. I think for now it's looking good. Yeah,
I love the idea.
Let's see villager count. Is it 10? Exactly 10?
6.
Oh,
9. 9. Oh, okay.
I'm not.
Yeah, 9.
But there's one guy liking 10. It's a 10.
Did you guys practice that one without me knowing?
You know all the details.
Look at that. The monks are going to be converted now by Viper's monks, and now the next seconds are going to be so important because obviously both players want to get a castle on this hill here, and Viper is the first one to place this one here. And this is looking good for Viper, I would say, because
Wait, he doesn't have stone.
He doesn't have stone.
That's why you always want to mark it.
Oh yeah, he has.
There's buying.
He built now. I mean, Tato's camels are obviously strong, and now with the monks, he's going to do for the monk trick. Tato is going to be able to get the castle up here, though.
One monk is such a crucial one because the monk trick, he will always try to convert every single villager to push it back.
Yep.
Deny that castle as soon as possible to buy time for his own castle to finish.
Yeah.
He's not doing that.
But Doubt, isn't that castle in range of Vipers? It feels like it is, isn't it? And now the university is late. Viper has the resources to go up, but he doesn't have the second building. And every single second counts here.
And Tato
every single
is up to Imperial Age, I believe.
He is?
Yeah.
He's faster, even though...
He's intense, G-Prim.
Oh god, yeah. Oh my god. That is so rough for Viper because the university is just such a huge thing. And now...
And those few seconds matter here.
They matter.
Also against Byzantine Castle, which is stronger, so...
Exactly.
This jab war will probably go into Tato's favor.
Yeah, I would assume so. And you don't want to lose the middle here. You definitely don't want to lose. And man, it's just beautiful in terms of strategy how Tato has executed this one.
I like fletching times, both finished exactly the same time.
Yeah.
Zero range units on the map as well.
Yeah, this is just for the castle, right? They want to have the extra range so there is no villager capable of repairing the castle. And Doubt, in this position, do you just wait until you're Imperial Age, or do you also queue up pet hearts?
When you're up to Imperial Age, and also against Byzantine Castle, you need 20 of them. Like there is no way for the Viper that's even an option.
I think the most important resource right now is stone, isn't it?
Repairing?
Yeah.
It'll be expensive soon.
Yeah.
And Viper is making a second castle. He wants to have double chap production. He wants that. And Tato wants the same. Quite a mirror game.
I mean, Viper 23 on stones. He will be able to place the third castle very soon as well. But I don't think that neither of those castles is going to be rejected. Maybe Tato's, because Vodkin, the fletching is in. but Tato should be able to finish the castle anyway, doesn't it? 80%, and yeah, he does not reach it. Just imagine having botkin area.
If he had it in time, that castle, that's actually so huge.
That is
such a small thing.
So huge.
Then suddenly it's 2 trap production against 1, and
yeah,
gets out of control fast.
Yeah, and obviously in this position I would always prefer to be Byzantines here, because you have the stronger castles, you have access to bombered cannons, and
you have cheaper camels that basically counter everything Viper wants to do.
Exactly.
And he's doing cavalry archers. Okay, fine for Tato, right?
Yeah, he's fine with that. Like, he will have access to the gold. Good luck getting a lot of CA out as Tatars without gold here. So that's going to be very, very tough for Viper here. So, what is very important in those traps wars, Doubt? What do you focus on?
Bomber cannons, but Byzantines can get for the bomber cannons, and he's doing the block printing for the monks. I'm a bit surprised with that.
Yeah, me as well. Do you see a world where both players lose both castles?
Not unlikely, right?
I think it will be like that, right? I mean, the castles of Viper will go down earlier, I would assume, but...
Quite a bit of less HP, right?
Exactly. He will not be able to repair the left or the top castle, but the right one he should be able to get that. And yeah, the camels are just very annoying.
Castle, like, Viper wanted a safety castle back out of all this action just to have some secure access to the gold, and Tato said, not today.
Not going
First castle down.
Yeah, first castle is down. There are 3 trebuchets still alive though, and 13 military units against 20, so this is looking better and better for Tato. He's still repairing the castle on the bottom, but I don't think he should be able to repair that or to save this one. It's just 4 trebuchet hitting on that castle. And Viper has the score lead for a moment here. Man, it is so close. Obviously no castle available for Viper here in the middle. But the castle of Tato will go down very soon as well, I think, Doubt.
I think Tato kind of fight too early with those camels now. He's completely out of the army. He should wait for the castle to go down and now try to snipe the traps. But there is no more castles for the Viper. If Tato snipes those traps, he's absolutely safe in the middle.
Exactly. And Viper doesn't have...
He never misses. He never misses.
Yeah, and he doesn't have villagers in the front right now to repair that trebuchet, does he? He's not really paying attention to that. And all of a sudden, we have an 800 score lead for Tato. This is looking so good for him. And he still has stone in the back. And with those villagers...
Another snipe?
Crazy. Like, with those villagers, you're going to out-repair those the damage output from the trebuchet here. And for Viper right now, the very most important thing is to have access to at least 1 gold, because you depend on those CA productions here. Overall population is extremely similar, 114 to 115. Tato, extremely housed right now. He needs to fix that one. Heavy camel coming in. But overall, Tato's position is still better, Doubt, no?
It's absolutely insane. Like, the score was neck to neck. Position in the middle, 2 castle against 2 castle.
Yep.
The thing that swings it to Tato favor is just extra HP in the game.
Exactly.
Such a small little thing. The game is just perfected, and tiny little thing, game completely different. Now Tato is in the middle, he got the castle there, he got the gold access, he got the heal advantage, he is in an amazing spot.
For sure. The thing which could in theory be scary for Tato is if Viper manages to get the CA numbers to around 40. He has 19 on the field right now, 4 more in the queue. So he is slowly but surely adding the CA which he needs. However, he needs the access to the gold in the middle.
And that's also like Byzantines don't even need gold, right? They can always go skirmish and scalp, or how long it takes.
Exactly. And now these 4 trebuchets are
going to disappear, right?
Exactly. There's no way that Viper can save that castle here. And Viper obviously realizes the situation he is in and is forced to tap out of this one. You can see that the crowd is enjoying these games as well. And how can they not, right? It's 2-2 right now after 4 games.
Such a close game. Like, it ended up like more HP on the castle.
Yeah.
Everything was good. All decision making on point. He only won.
Yeah.
Because of the more HP on the castle, insane.
Yeah. And we're just standing here and just being, to a certain degree, flabbergasted, right, by how beautiful this game is.
That word?
Flabbergasted, like amazed or surprised positively.
Learning new word every day, and now you're like...
I'm always waking up each day and be like, how can I surprise Doubt in a positive manner today?
Is that a real word?
It is. Yeah. I hope so, at least. So yeah, it's just, this game is so beautiful. And I also had a talk with Hera 2 days ago. And we just came to the conclusion we both just enjoy this game so much, especially tournament environment, because the game is so complicated, though.
And the level, like,
Yeah.
they were exactly the same and using their civilization to the maximum.
Yeah.
Viper going for the, well, doesn't have the, cannot go camel war, go cavalry archers, he controlled them insane, he didn't lose a single one. I cannot just, like, more HP on the castle, game changing. Like,
Yeah.
everything was perfect from the both player, just that extra HP completely changes the game.
Do you think, because they went for different approaches, Viper went for the TC immediately upon reaching cast stage in the middle. Tato, he was very defensive, having the 2 extra TCs in the back. Would you rate the other approach better than the other one?
Tato's approach was a bit better as a reaction to the 2 extra ship per TC, right? He needed those farms earlier. Viper could play a bit more greedier, go to the middle because he got access to the free ships when he built the TC, and that's absolutely huge.
Yep.
The next map?
Atacama is going to be confirmed as the next map, and Doubt, we talked about it earlier. We said there is a likelihood we don't see it, but fortunately for us, for the viewers, we will see Atacama. And you know, we will look at Atacama as well, obviously, because as a player you gotta prepare for the worst
If
here.
you don't like it, even if you don't like
Even
it.
if you don't like it here, yeah. And if we see Atacama in these settings here, it is way more close compared to the Atacama which is out there, right?
And you, yes, you have to fight for that middle. It's maybe even more important than gold rush. Like,
Yeah.
gold is nice for the units, but wood you absolutely need it. Like air in the Age of Empires.
Exactly.
That's how you start. That's
Exactly.
everything. Wood is everything there.
Exactly. That's why we have maps out there called Forest Nothing, right? Because all you
And
need
you
in
love
life
that
is
one.
wood.
You absolutely love that one.
Yes.
If you have wood, you have everything.
Yes. So, anyway, guys, civilizations have been confirmed. We will see Khmer against Japanese Doubt. So we have our answer to what map Japanese is going to be utilized on. And Doubt, if we think about it, Japanese is not really the first civilization which pops into my mind for Atacama. And yeah, we got the
Same time
confirmation here.
makes sense. Like the
Yeah.
mill, the lumber camps are cheaper. The wood is limited on the map early game because also the wood is further away. That means the walking distance will be further away for the villagers as well, and that means less resources at the beginning for you. So saving that wood from the cheaper lumber camp and for Khmer not needed in barrack is quite big.
Yep. So definitely a good pick here by Tato. And, you know, meta-wise, Man-at-Arms is a very common thing here on this map, followed up by Archers. And Japanese really, really excels in that. Like, if I think about, let's say, Liri playing Japanese on this map, I would not enjoy facing him with those settings because it's just very, very clutch. And Tato is capable of doing a very similar thing here for sure as well. So Viper has to think about how he wants to deal with that the best way. If you're in Viper's position,
right?
Huh?
Tato is already pushing this. He
Yeah.
definitely wants a heavy food build.
Yeah, which indicates that
Man-at-Arms.
it's most likely Man-at-Arms here. Now, if we think about Viper's position as Khmer, they have the huge advantage that they don't need certain buildings to go for the next ages. So opening with Archers is very likely here, Doubt, isn't it?
It does stop Man-at-Arms completely, but at the same time, Man-at-Arms is not there to kill. There to give you the map control.
Yep.
They are forcing enemy reactions. So I build Man-at-Arms, you build Archers, I build Skirms. I'll be that step ahead.
Yep.
Then you react. Your turn to show the
Yep.
cards.
So it's kind of like the game you played with Dravidians on Fish and Fish. Obviously, you have a little bit more space,
Yeah.
but it's kind of the same unit composition with Man-at-Arms
Same
followed
idea.
up by Skirms.
Same idea, basically. Just there you fight for the middle foot. Here you fight for the middle wood line.
Yep, yep. However, if we look at the map, I personally, we haven't talked about it, but I love the lumber camp by Tato. He doesn't place the lumber camp in the back because there is always a threat of your opponent going forward with towers. He places it in the front. So that means that in case your opponent is trying to make some, you know, weird shenanigans, offensive plays, he is going to be able to react faster with those villagers.
It does hurt his economy slightly, but in the long term,
Yep.
safety.
Yeah, safety guaranteed here. Now, Barrack, it's not the biggest surprise, Doubt. What do you think about it?
I like to time those ones, right?
I love that one
Every
so
time I
much.
try to drink, he give me direct question. That also makes no sense. Yeah, Berg indicates he will go Man-at-Arms with Japanese, huh? Surprise.
Yeah, yeah. Oh.
Ooh, what's that lumber camp for the Viper?
I think he's assuming that there is going to be a lot of pressure coming in. from
In the
Tato.
house.
In the house,
Just for
yeah.
the safety.
Yeah.
Why?
And
What Khmer bonuses?
they save wood by... No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, they can they can jump into the houses with the villagers, which is a beautiful thing. And you can see the way Viper places his houses. It's always very close to the resources he's just digging. So safety first here. And 3 on gold, archer range, popping up, obviously, very, very fast uptime, and that is a huge advantage Khmer is capable of doing. And now,
forward
Viper Scout,
villagers.
Stout, Viper Scout.
Always on point. He
Always
sees
on point.
everything. He gives him time to think about how he wants to react.
Yep.
Now he can, for example, send 2 villagers on stone to have more access to the tower's defense.
Yep.
He chooses reaction, and it's all about scouting, right?
It's all about scouting. Obviously, Tato is going to deal some damage with those man-at-arms. That's guaranteed. The question is, how much is he going to be able to deal, and what Viper's reaction is going to be. We see quick walls here indeed by Viper, so he obviously is aware that there is the militias here. He doesn't see the tower yet, but
He saw
you
the villagers.
assume
He
it.
knows it's
You
coming.
assume it, right? And he just needs to confirm it where it is. At this point, Viper doesn't really care too much because he has the second lumber camp on the left-hand side.
Yeah, the sneaky lumber camp is actually super smart, right?
Yep.
Maybe it's because he expected many times he will lose one lumber camp, and usually players make the 2 lumber camps at the same spot.
Yep.
And he, because of stability, like you need to
Yeah.
protect only one spot.
Yep.
But then this tower will be absolutely deadly. So
Exactly.
kudos to Viper again.
Exactly. The thing I'm a little bit worried about here, Doubt, for... Is he? No. For Tato, is he doesn't have an archer range, does he? I don't see any range units from him so far. That is disastrous, isn't it?
Well, he is not in rush to get one, right? He got the stone axes. He can always tower at home, and he sees the Viper army. It's not threat yet. There is absolutely no rush to do it. And this counter tower, I guess he saw lumber camp. Like, you will not take my wood line.
Do you like this tower? Because I don't.
No, in Japanese lumber camp it's 50 wood. Like tower costs 50 wood plus stone.
Yeah, and the tower is a huge, huge investment. And what does the tower really protect from your own resources? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
It's also very important that it's in the middle of map, and middle is kind of the center place, right?
Yeah.
Everything happens through there.
Yeah.
So somewhat like it, but
Viper, don't commit here. That's so untypical from him. Like, he values those scouts so
but
high.
he wanted to buy time.
Ah,
deny the
yeah,
range.
well, yeah.
Archers were on the way, so it paid off absolutely heavily.
Yeah. So overall, if we, analyze the situation, Doubt, Viper is on the front here, forcing Tato to do a panic tower plus a panic archer range. And he's put away from berries. He has 2 on food right now. 2.
And Viper, 15, 14. Yeah, and it's also Khmer farming, which is absolutely insane. Look at it. This is a... Explain this move.
He will have a house close by to the farms. And then he's fine, because obviously Khmer, they don't need a mill to drop off or a TC to drop off the food from the
Idea
farms.
is you send all like 4 or 5 villagers to the deer.
Yep.
Once they carry maximum capacity, 35 food, you drop the farm, they drop the... It's a weird mechanic, but they drop all the food there, and then you send them again to the deer. And that's
Exactly.
when you're done with all the deers, they were super efficient.
Yep.
Never walking home, it was like you made a meal.
Exactly. This is just like...
Efficient to the maximum.
Exactly, the maximum efficiency you can have here from those villagers. And Viper, he just loves playing Khmer, right? It's just one of his favorite civilizations out there.
Suits him well as well.
Yeah, it suits him very well. You can have this very greedy, efficient way of economy. And also, Khmer is very versatile as well, very mobile. So they have a lot of utility. And I would assume
He loves
Tato's...
scorpions.
He loves
Absolutely
scorpions as
loves the
well.
scorpions
Yeah,
with
they have
extra range.
1 extra range there. And we kind of assumed so. Tato's idle TC time, it will go up very heavily.
And like, look at the food count for Viper. Closer and closer to the castle age. Well, Tato is still struggling to make villages.
In this case, in Viper's position, do you think about adding a stable for safety reasons and scouts? Or do you say, no, I will go castle age, I don't care?
Well, I obviously now saw that he will at the stable.
God, you're so knowledgeable. You're so knowledgeable.
But overall, I think Viper is feeling super safe. He just went full tour around the Tato's base. He saw his tower defensing. He knows there won't be that many units.
And beautiful reaction by Viper. Oh, nice save by Tato as well, you gotta say here. And but, if Tato had been able to place the tower in the front here. This could, in theory, have been a little bit dicey for Viper, but no. He completely repelled it. He has a safe wood line. With the zone he is gathering right now, he's going to be able to plant the tower there. He's going to be safe.
And against scouting, Viper sees everything.
Exactly.
Like, those sneaky tower villagers denied. Everything Tato does denied.
Yep.
That's because of the good scouting and good reaction.
In Tato's shoes right now, he's doing a...
His tower is like, okay, it won't be denied, but I don't want to deny the tower. Like,
You don't
there's
care.
another one there if you want.
You don't care, especially if you're on your way to cast stage very soon. It's like, okay, my knights, they don't mind having those towers here, right? You can, with the knights, you can easily pick off those towers as well because they're not walled in. And, without ballistics and the towers and fuel, it's not like the biggest damage output, especially against the knights here.
They're controlling nothing. They don't even control the woodline.
Yep.
It's positional towers. It gives him like place where he can attack from, which is good if he was encastled. But now it's like, it's nothing.
It's absolutely nothing.
Viper is going full counter attack. He doesn't care about those.
And this is good for Viper as well, because with the villagers, he can jump into the houses, right? It's not something Tato is capable of. I'm sure he's going to have towers as a defensive tool as well. But yeah, let's see.
Reaction time.
Oh, look at that.
Instant.
Look at that. He is on point.
But there is no room for this guy. Okay, there is.
He wanted to wall them.
Jab them in and then drop them from other side and complete. If that worked out, I would just.
We would have gone home.
Gone.
We would have
be
gone home,
gone.
guys. There would have not been any commentary anymore from Dowd and me, but I would say fortunately it didn't happen, even though I would have
actually
liked
want to see that.
I would have loved to see that, and every once in a while Viper is going to...
I hate when it happens to me, but
yeah,
I can laugh to others.
I know, I feel you there, Dowd. And indeed, Viper 1 minute and 50 seconds away from cast stage, doing fletching after he clicked cast stage as well.
Oh, look at the villagers on stone. I think Viper
Plays the cast very soon, huh?
wants Ballista Elephant. He wants style.
Oh.
He knows he's super far ahead.
Yeah.
He's styling right now.
Yeah. And Tato, he is not really capable of finding any damage here. The defense is just too strong from Viper. And I'm sure there's going to be a castle and a few knights from Viper. That's something I would assume. And right now, 1 minute away from reaching castle age. On the other side, Dowd. Tato, 150 food in the bank.
Tato 1 minute away from resigning.
You think he will call the GG upon reaching
He's
cast stage
not
from
even
Viper?
close to click up. Like, just knights would click him up.
Yep.
Maybe he will. But when he sees the castle in his face, I actually want to see those Ballista Elephants.
Me as well.
Amazing looking unit.
And I'm sure Chad would love to see Ballista Elephants
It's
as well.
such a meme of community, right? Everybody loves them.
Yeah, and that's also one of the biggest specialities of Viper, that he comes up with, let's say, a bit of mimi things every once in a while as well.
They're not bad unit at all. Like, how do you stop
Yeah,
Ballista
they're
Elephants?
just...
It's hard to get the mass, but once you get
know,
them rolling...
I know, but it's just, like, you don't see it in the, daily action in Age of Empires 2, but they are super tanky, super strong. So it's, something to go for. But right now, Viper focuses on the crossbow upgrade. He will get the knights out as well. And obviously, he wants to repel the army of Tato. So he gets the map control in the front in order to plant down the cast. Because if you have a castle in the middle and, deny potentially all the wood income from your opponent, that's a good position to be in, Dowd.
It's not bad one at all, right? You control all the wood lines, then you can do whatever. You can continue pushing, you can go booming. It's just like very hard to play if you don't have woodline and you are in feudal as well.
Exactly. And Tato, obviously, he's getting closer and closer to be capable of going up as well. He has 600 food in the bank, all the gold he needs as well. However, it will take some time to reach cast age, 2 minutes and around 30 seconds, if I'm not mistaken.
This is also very important. Like, if he didn't... Stone is maybe the only thing that could give Tato the chance.
Yep.
To drop a counter castle, maybe think about fast imp and such.
Yep.
But even that is denied.
That's not going to happen here as well. Tato up to cast stage as well. Second TC is already up for Viper. And, he's more of a greedy player, as we talked about it. So I would not be heavily surprised if we see a third one very soon as well. But the castle, that one, the positioning, that's going to be the biggest question mark for
I'm
me here.
surprised that Viper kind of stopped taking stone. Like, left only 2 villages of stone when he's only 100 stone away from a castle. Like, drop a castle, then do that. Like,
Yeah.
I understand you want TCs faster and everything, but when you're so close to drop the castle, well, just get it.
That's strange, right? Because it feels like you invested the villager working time into a resource you don't really utilize. So But yeah, I feel like he feels very, very safe with that, and he's like, okay, I just want to get more information of the map, how it looks like right now, and if I feel like I'm 100% safe, then I will come forward, and then I will place the castle
I
in your
wouldn't
face.
even be surprised if Viper is thinking, let's wait until Tato gets castle age, drop a TC in the middle, invest more into the middle, and then I put a castle.
Yeah, that would be the ultimate greed, wouldn't it, Doubt?
I like it. Something
Obviously.
to think of as well.
Yeah.
That's smart, that's smart.
So right now, Tato, very close to reaching Castle Age, but he doesn't have any map presence except the 2 towers here in the front. But the 3, 4 crossbowmen, they're going to be able to make something happen for some reactions. Nice quick walls by Tato, so he's going to be able to save those 2 villagers, yes. However, what is the follow-up for Tato here now? Do you think it's the fast imp, as you mentioned earlier,
or
does it have
other way?
Okay.
It's like he knows he behind the economy, he knows he had way longer feudal age. He needs to come up with something. I don't know what. It has to be import.
Siege Workshop?
Push. Some type of the push.
So the push is coming, but that's going to
They're
be
just going somewhere.
fine for Viper
That's
because
a
that
lot.
castle is going to go up. There is no way he can stop that. They're on left-hand side, there are 5 soon-to-be crossbowmen. Able to maybe stop that a little bit, but the army size from Viper is just there. There's a knight, crossbow here as well, so there's no way those archers are going to be capable of doing anything here. And Doubt, you've been in those positions a lot of time in your life as well. What is the difference between you and Viper here?
He finished his castle.
How?
You wanted that one. You wanted.
Yeah, I want. But how?
He sent his whole economy there. Like, I would rather not finish castle than have like 20 idle villagers building.
You know you can task those villagers to take deer or wood, right?
Fucking time. And now market. Like, is it market? Yeah. You will never learn.
Doubt in the future you will.
Market in feudal age.
Yes, but in future you send 20 villagers forward, okay? To build a castle instead of 5.
I don't want castle to go up then.
Okay. Good. Scorpion, perfect tool for defending also against the siege push, which is going to come from Tato. The Scorpions are totally fine as well with the extra range
Exactly.
against Mangonel.
And good micro, they are actually beating Onagers, but keyword is good micro.
So that's why you always use it, right? Against
I use monks. I even fail with bomber cannons. Monks is a safe bet. They don't miss.
The good thing about monks is that they don't require micro too much, right? Like you only have to click.
One click, one mangonel. You just need to hope it hits, but yeah.
So overall, economy in a huge lead for Viper. Also gotta think about the effectiveness of Khmer farms. That's always a big bonus here. A lot of villagers go down here, Doubt, though.
A bit sloppy by Viper. He lost like 5 villagers before noticing that, and Tato is taking any chance he can.
This is obviously a good moment for Tato. The score is very, very close. Even Tato gets the score lead here. Doubt, what is happening?
Why is Tato not resigning and now he got the top score?
What's happening here?
I'm totally confused. Like Viper was killing villagers like 4 or 5 minutes faster to castle age, Khmer economy, castle in the face, triple TC.
Yeah. But the thing is,
top score.
the thing is, Viper didn't really commit to units that heavily, right? It's just the very economical approach he went for once again. And right now, Tato...
Only 10 villages ahead.
Yeah, and Tato,
I don't know what's happening here.
yeah, and Tato is super happy with the position he's in, I suppose, because he has map control on the left-hand side at least. Obviously, the castle is not the best thing to have in front of your base, but killing 3 Scorpions is definitely a nice thing to be doing.
I like the teleportation there with the houses. And Ballista Elephant enters the game.
Oh, we have that one here, and I think the right response to that can only be monks, huh?
I don't see any, look at the crossbow. They're doing nothing to that.
They have 4 pierce armor. It could be 5 in cast age as well. And they have so much HP. It kind of reminds me a little bit of a war wagon.
Yeah, and also they can chop through the woodline. So you're never safe with the walls behind. They're such an amazing unit. And because they do splash damage, they work better at big number.
Yep. So
It's hard to get, they're expensive.
and also it requires a lot of resource investment from Tato to defend those. I mean, he's playing
at the
around
micro,
here.
yeah.
Nice micro here.
Double kill.
For sure. But yeah, just doesn't happen.
What's happening? Explain to me, Jordan. I'm new here. How is the whole game we were kind of slowing down because Tato resigned, and then suddenly he's 200 score lead.
Yeah, it's also like Viper played it very greedy, so to
That's
say.
good. Like he had an advantage and he wanted to build even bigger.
Yeah. The thing is,
Nice snipe.
economy much better for Viper, no question about it. But it feels like Tato, military-wise, has done just a little bit a better job than Viper, and he's also killing buildings, which boosts his score as well, right? And like right now, Tato feels like in a good position, doesn't it?
I mean, he still doesn't have healthy farm economy.
He killed 2 Mangonels with 1 shot. Did you see that?
I
That
do
was amazing.
Daily basis.
Okay, so 82 population against 81. Now this is neck and neck. Right now, if I had to ask you, what position do you prefer? Which one would you go for?
I'm like, now Viper resign. I was like really struggling to cast because I was thinking it's over. Like, he was such a huge lead.
Yeah.
You have army, you force your enemy to play towers defense when your castle reach triple TC boom and ready to drop a castle. Like, perfect scenario, and suddenly, not so bad for the Tadito.
However, if we look at the villager discrepancy, I hope I pronounced it correctly, Dave.
Again, new word?
Huh?
New word?
No, that one is, I know that one for a long time, but I always pronounce it badly. However, the villager discrepancy is, you know, increasing. Like deficit, the difference between the villager amount is growing, right? So Viper's economy is getting stronger and stronger compared to Tato's, and there is going to be
discrepancy is absolutely insane here. It's 29 discrepancies here.
You love this word as well,
I like
right?
to learn new words as well.
Okay, so 30 villagers now, and another forward castle. This is very huge. If you look at the resources of Tato, he wants to aim for faster Imperial Age, I suppose. Okay, never mind, he goes for ballistic, so...
Oh, I like this.
Oh, it will both castles go up here?
Both will go up, and this is the place where you want Peters. Now it's Peters time. Like, nobody can think about Imperial Age, and castles take such a huge... Man, Viper really wants this castle up. Come on, relax, man. I mean, it will go up.
Well, he is your teammate, right? So he has a little bit of experience what can happen if the castle doesn't go up. Yeah, usually not in a good position there. If you're in Tato's
clean up here.
That's a nice cleanup indeed. A bit sloppy obviously for Tato, but there are so many things happening all over the place, right? It's hard to always keep track of everything which is going on. And right now in Tato's position...
It was such a good moment for Viper, cleaning the Mangolos, getting the castle up.
Awesome, right?
And killing the crossbow.
And also denying all the potential wood lines from Tato. Right now in Tato's position, do you think he knows, due to the score lead, that he's in a very bad position? Or does he think, okay, I have really something going for me right now?
I don't think he cares about score. He's like, where do I find the woodline? Like, it's castle against castle, but Viper got a lot room back to work with. Tato,
yeah, not so much.
Edge.
Yeah, I think the castle of Viper will go down in the front here. I don't think he cares too much about that one.
Ballista will cut in.
Oh.
It has to cut in.
Okay, we have to keep silence for a moment, just for this moment.
Will he remember?
Oh, does he? Viper?
He doesn't care, the villager's life.
Okay.
I believe that's why he made it.
Yeah, it kind of felt like that. Anyway, 113 villagers against 70, so a huge lead in that regard for Viper. And Tato does a nice aggression here on the left-hand side with the mangonel and the crossbows, but he doesn't really care too much about that one. And now with Viper raiding the wood line on the top, that's a good feeling for Viper to see your opponent being forced on the wood line there.
And there is one huge difference. Tato went for Peters, Viper did not. So castle is about to fall for Viper, which will give him again breathing time for the Tato.
It will give him breathing time, yes. The thing is, the petards, it's not the cheapest unit, right? Like, you have to invest a lot of food into that as well. It's 60 food if I'm not mistaken. And if you look at the farming economy by 15 on food right now, he has 3 TCs. You cannot afford everything. And his idle TC time, he's obviously very high. Viper obviously is as well. But yeah.
Villager difference is huge. And
the discrepancy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the right pronunciation is discrepancy. But okay, never mind. So this Mangonel is going to die. I would assume Tato does a beautiful job here, saving the Mangonel, only losing 1 crossbowman in the process. And yeah, with those reinforcements, Tato is going to lose his Mangonel there. Well, Daud, What do you think are the winning conditions for Tato? Because I
don't
kind
want
of...
to judge anymore. Like I saw him losing like for last 10 minutes, but
Yeah.
right now maybe it's really over. The
Yeah.
village account is kicking in, and for the first time, Viper also got the military lead.
Exactly. I mean, Tato, we see the fighting spirit, right? He knows it's game 5. If you win game 5, and all of a sudden you have guaranteed 2 match points, right? So that is always a good situation to be in. So he doesn't want to, you know, just resign here, even though he knows the troubles he is in right now. But, you know, at one point you have to ask yourself that, what can you do anymore to win this game?
Very little, I must say. The small victory is getting that castle presence back on the map.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will take.
Yeah, okay. So crossbows go down here, 91 population against 140, and yeah, on the right-hand side, the ballista elephant is kind of, you know, avoiding the wood income from Tato. On the left-hand side, the castle, obviously, and Tato is forced to completely take the entire wood on the top of the base. And guys, Atacama,
to imp as well.
yeah, like Atacama, you obviously have access to wood. And Japanese have the 50 wood on the lumber camp. That's obviously nice, but it's never going to be as efficient as Viper on the middle here.
It runs out very fast. You need to replace those lumber camps quite often, and it's just a mess, right?
Yeah.
But the biggest problem is 70 farmers against 57 Khmer farmers.
Yeah, that's insane. We also see the switch now.
The queue of the Arglis for Viper, he is enjoying the life right now.
Yeah, Bloodlines, Husbandry, Lightcalf coming in. So Hussars are going to flood the entire map very, very soon. And, you know, especially on this situation right now. I mean, if you were in theory completely stonewalled, you don't mind that too much, but that's not going to be the case here for Tato.
On this map.
Not on this map, exactly. On the left-hand side, CAs are coming in here for Tato, but I mean, Viper's on point. He was reacting before one single arrow has been shot here from Tato, so he is on
make
point.
those farms like this on purpose just to like
Show Khmer. Show Khmer strength right out.
Usually your habit is to make them in the nice little square, but he just dropping them everywhere.
Yeah, and we even see a ram here trying to force its way through, but it's not going to be the biggest challenge here. And 40 seconds remaining for Viper. It's just like he has the entire control.
To switch from the Tato. It's like a very strong unit. Japanese not so popular, although they have quite a good arbids on them.
Yep.
And they work well against Khmer because their scams are not the toughest one, right?
Yep. The entire middle has been captured by Viper though. He's chasing away those units here. Tato desperately trying to make things happen. But yeah, he obviously realizes the situation here. And there's just no way.
He just to raid and see how many farms there is to raid.
Yeah, it's just...
Let's go next game.
It's just like... Yeah, I mean, at one point you realize, okay, there's just like nothing I can do anymore. It's obviously different if your opponent reaches imp and you have full map control as the cast stage player and you have like a healthy 130 population in terms of villagers, but that was not the case.
That was not the case, and castle war in the middle, once trap hits in.
Exactly.
It just over. But Tato held that like a beast.
Yeah, we were both like looking at each other, be like, "Dog, what is happening?"
Let's go next game.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah,
Tato 400 scores ahead.
Yeah. Like he had a momentum, right? He had a momentum. He was, you know, the deficit was very high in terms of the villagers, but he, in theory, could have had a possibility to make something happen with.
When I'm in that position that I need to make a defensive towers and enemy's castle age, when do you come back?
Exactly.
Tato was in a very good spot at one point, especially against that solid micro when he kills two Mongols and didn't lose anything. And crossbow running in, and suddenly he was in the driving seat again. But that castle in the middle was so much zoning him out, and he was never able to actually come back.
Exactly.
Maybe Tato castle should not be to control the woodline, but let's go to the Viper's economy, let's go to his main TC, and then control the woodline for that side.
I think that would have been the only play which could have saved him, because
but you need to do that in the tournament. And
exactly.
It's a huge risk always, right?
Exactly.
I like those castles, to be honest, but it's
you're the best person to talk to this about. The thing is, the second castle of Viper didn't put so much more threat compared to the first one he had already. So ignoring it in this situation, say, okay, I will completely all in on the other side because I'm in a better or worse position anyway, just to try to make something happen, but that was not the case. And obviously, Viper just economically was just too far ahead here.
Yeah, the whole game he was ahead economically. Like
Yeah.
there was a one slip off when the PC next to the castle, he didn't notice he lost like 6-7 villagers.
Yeah.
That kind of probably give boost status confidence. Okay, there is a chance I equalize. He got more TCs, but
Yeah.
I just killed a lot of villagers. If I have momentum with my siege push, and really, if he made a castle there, Viper would be in a shaky position.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
There was like, you know, if you're in these kind of situations, one person focuses more on the economy, the other one more on, you know, getting map control. You have like a time window of 5 to 10 minutes, depending on which situation you're in, right? Where you can make something happen. But if if you're not able to make something happen that man, then it's very, very tough to
It's
bounce
like
back here.
When you get economy, when you boom, and enemies making units.
Yep.
It's not. It takes a while to produce, to get him pushed back, and during that, I'm booming back. So
Yep.
it feels like 20 villagers should be instantly win.
Yep.
But it's not like that.
Not always like that, yeah, indeed.
Usually then they are less efficient because I'm raiding with my units, and yeah,
Yep.
that played amazing, that one.
Yep, for sure. So Northern Isles is going to be one of the remaining maps, and the second
And,
one was, what was it?
Fidget Lake?
Land Madness.
Land Madness, Fidget Lake was bad.
Yes.
Oh god, I hate that map.
Yeah, it's not your favorite one. Every time I play against you, I pick this one. Land Madness, like, what civs were available there? Do you remember? Was the Lithuanian still available
no,
for one
he
of those
used them
situations?
on the graveyards, right? No, the
Graveyards we didn't play. Huh?
I used
Oh,
them.
yeah.
He used them on ship fault, right? The game asked against
Yeah.
Lithuanians.
True, true.
Try to remember.
I'm really struggling.
Still
So
left.
we have Bohemians for Viper. I know that one
That's
because
true.
he didn't.
use them on arena.
Yeah, but Bohemian's not going to be really the Land Madness and Northern Isles.
Land
So
Madness, I could actually see Viper using them. He used Teutons there like every single tournament.
But Teutons makes sense. Bohemians not so much, I think. But we will see. I mean, he's known to make
Viper makes sense out of
certain
these
civilizations. Yeah.
Okay, help is here. Dravidians.
Dravidians, yeah. Dravidians has to be Northern Isles.
Frank's Land Madness insane too.
And but doubt. Mayans first pick. Mayans was first pick for Tato. He has not used them thus far. I don't see them on Land Madness. I don't see them on Northern Isles.
He's like clearly picking Poles first and never use them. Behind them, I picked them first behind them. No, take them.
Does make too much sense, but okay. Yeah, that's what he went for. So we agree both that Dravidians Northern Isles and Franks on Land Madness. Okay, for Tato we have set.
It makes sense.
Viper
Then
on the
again-
other hand.
Then again, it's Berbers for the Viper on Land Madness, and maybe Mayans will manage that better. Right?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I think Bohemians there is just Viper tips are obvious,
But-
and Tato can play around a little bit.
Okay, Daud, hear me out. A special Jordan thought.
Oh god.
Special Jordan thought. Are you ready?
Commercials. Like,
You guys
go.
don't want to hear it. It's not gonna be pretty.
let's go.
Okay,
Let's go,
so
guy.
Berbers on Northern Isle, faster villagers, faster boats. So you're going to be able to chase down things. You're going to be able to land very nicely and do certain crazy things. Berbers on that, and then Portuguese on Land Madness. You have extra berries, and the berries give 33% wood trickle, one of those two words. Always, mix them up, and then they were pretty strong there as well.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Next time I play against you, I will pick Northern Ireland. Absolutely.
It's not as bad as Brits.
I mean, Portuguese on Land Madness is good, but you have
Yeah.
Berbers there. And also, Viper is one win away from securing third place. So,
Yeah.
like, Portuguese. Actually, the Dravidians unique unit or Caravel?
Yeah.
Did we ever test that? Who wins?
We didn't test, but in my theory, the Caravels
Theory?
should have no chance.
Why?
Because the armor
Big
of
unit, they
the
group up as well.
the armor upgrade of the God.
Oh, what's the name?
Theorizadai.
Trust me.
Theorizadai. I think it's Theorizadai. Theorizadai. Can you say that?
No.
Okay, we go to the two words. Discrepancy?
No, so,
Discrepancy.
unique unit from the Dravidians or unique unit from the Portuguese? On the
I think
water, who wins?
the unique unit from Dravidians, I would claim. Yeah.
I think their biggest weakness is fire galleys, and Portuguese don't have the fast fire.
No, they don't. Yeah. The Theorizadai
tricky,
should be very
actually.
strong.
Yeah, it can be tricky. Maybe I'll grow into something.
I really hope we see.
Actually, yeah.
I hope Dravidians will be played on Northern Isles. We come to the unique unit, the Theorizadai, and Daud has to pronounce that name.
Yeah, we just call it galley, like the ship.
The ship is just too strong there.
The big ship is killing the small ship. Simple casting. So actually, now when I think about it, you got the point. Like Viper needs one more win. If he feels Portuguese, will give him the win on that band as well.
Yep.
Let's go.
I always enjoy those moments when you say I have a point, because they are rare.
You have a point.
You have a point.
You have a point there.
Oh, I have to mark this in my calendar how often I got that comment from you already. I like that though. I like it.
You had some shine moments, but usually it's like, what about Franks? Yeah. Your input is like, whenever we meet up to make a strategies for team game, for Boa or such, Jordan is like, what do you guys think about Franks? And he means it. Like, it's not trolling.
Like, I'm really into it, right?
Best team.
Yeah. Like, the thing is, I always come up with ideas which are obvious, right?
It's not the ideas then. It's like, you just want to be part of the group. Like, I'm brainstorming with you guys. What about Franks? You joke.
Well, I want to feel involved as well, right? So it makes sense. Thank you, Dad. Thank you. Yeah, that's the problem, being surrounded by 3 top, brainers, and then you and me, right? So
we have brainer.
Of course.
Yeah, okay,
is that not
I like compliments as well.
Yeah, I didn't include you. I was
top 3.
I was
Nearly?
Tata and Viper. I said
Slam.
top. Slam is not really known to be like very strategical as well.
What is he known for?
Let's talk about the 3 top thinkers. Yeah, Nili, Tato, Viper, and then we have Doubt in me.
I'm a brainer. That's the only thing I got. Come on, give me credit.
Yeah, you are.
Market and thinking.
Yeah.
If they remove the market, I'm gone. Like next year, I'm gone. Like.
There was a post on AOE Zone. I think it was Miguel saying, "Do we need a market?"
I liked that guy until then. Like,
do we need a market in Fuel Age? And I was like, yeah, we don't need to.
I was like, we need ballistic in Feudal Age as well. Like Micro should not. If we fight, you're committed. Like, don't remove me the market. Like, to honestly, yes, market is annoying. Inca Villager Rush in all this was annoying.
Yeah.
But it got its own charm as well. Like, it's a threat. It's an annoying strategy to lose to, but if all those annoying things, cheesy strategies are removed,
then everything is the same.
Archers against Archers, Scout against Scout, and games lose that scouting purpose and reacting and such.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, market should always be disadvantaged. You are doing risky, you are selling at bad prices to get that timing attack. If enemy reads correct, you should be in disadvantage, but it's really hard to read and react correctly.
Yeah, in theory, yes. The thing is, it's much easier to only take gold compared to taking farms, right? Because you have to invest wood, so you have to have 2 resources.
It's good.
But so there could be, I would say, a little bit better of a challenge balance, but in general, market and Fuel Age is a must.
Don't touch my market. Next time, castles maybe should be built a bit slower. I'm casting completely.
Dude, I was laughing so hard because in the Lithuanians game against Livery, it was complete scout opening, and then you said everything on gold. I was like, I asked Viper, is he going to plan to switch to archers? And he's like, no, market. That was so good. It was like, oh yeah, obvious.
Such a bad game, but yeah.
I should have known that one. Yeah, so
part of the game. It's a good part of the game.
Yeah. If you think about it, 3-2, Viper ahead, what do you think the mindset is of both players right now?
Right now, Viper is like, one more win, and I can chill and watch finals and cry together with us.
I just got a message. Sorry, say again. What do you think the mindset
What was the message?
That both players are back and we're about to start the game.
Do we know the map?
No.
Do we know the tips?
Lamb Madness.
Okay. Portuguese. Huh? So many berries? I think he actually practiced it.
So many berries.
So many berries, what did they... If I said so many bushes, you would make...
no, but you
berries is
like
fine, bushes is like... Let's see what it is.
Yes. We will get the information very soon. I still think Portuguese Lamb Madness and Franks. Yeah, I'm committed on that choice, Stout.
I mean, Franks is... Well, actually, it's not that obvious. It can be mind game. Like, Mayans against Berbers.
Also, something which I've also noticed is,
How did you notice?
There was a time frame where Viper completely smashed...
Okay, what did you notice? I had people in my head.
Me as well.
I have more than usual.
Yeah. So I lost my thinking, and I also didn't understand what was said. But anyway, so Viper had a huge time frame where he was just dominating every one of us, right? Of the GL guys. And now it feels like Tato has somehow found a way to really match him so close. So Tato has really improved. Do you feel like Tato has stepped up a little bit since
Everybody
last month?
stepped out.
Even me?
Almost everybody did step up. Almost everybody. But yeah, game is evolving, everybody's improving. Like we have now Winchester, Villese, ACCM, everybody at amazing level. They're like here, Lily, Viper are still slightly safer in events than us, but we
will
can
get
take
them
down. We will get them. Like look at Lily.
Easy snacks.
Yeah, but Viking Cornelius and I'm there, he's here. Like
Yeah, exactly. It's just
Viking Cornelius.
small things, right?
Like each Candoneer cost me $1,000. Like
Yeah. Next time we get them Tiger.
damn right.
Okay, good. So, who's right?
Well,
Who's
not
right?
you.
Exactly, I was obviously wrong. So yeah, indeed, we have here on the top side of the map, Viper in the blue chunks playing as Berbers. And he has good knowledge of Berbers, doesn't he, Doubt?
Why does he have good knowledge of the purpose?
Didn't he beat Larry in a very big tournament where he was
Against
Berbers? When I said it, I was like, oh, it was the other way around. Yeah. Okay. There's a pause.
And
I don't know
Tato
why.
got very good knowledge about Mayans. Oh. Yeah, Viper is extra shiny today. So they need to take care of that.
I would not like
Look
this.
at him hiding.
Did you?
I should stand. Oh, I almost fall. Like, okay. I should not move.
Did you see the sound as well when we were casting?
Yeah, it was going on. You were safe there.
Yeah. That was good. So yeah, we'll take a moment until. Okay,
He's walled out,
Viper
yeah.
gives the thumbs up, so he looks confident, doesn't he, Daud?
Well,
Being up 3-2, it's not a feeling we know.
I know being, well, not even two, but okay.
Yeah. Okay, game resumes here. And yeah, Viper's just scouting his base on this map. Obviously, we have 5 maps, five sheep instead of 6. But there's a slight addition of a berry bush under the TC. And there is a lot of berries and hunt with the deer scattered around the entire map. And on the other side, we have Tato playing here the red trunks as Mayans. And Daud, is Mayans a civilization which pops into your head right away on this map?
Not really.
Why not?
Really, because as you can see around the woodlines, there is the rocky area where you cannot absolutely wall in.
Okay.
And that means the scouts on the map will be dangerous tool to have. Now, with mines, you cannot go scouts, right? So that means you will have to play mostly defensive whole game and try to find solution. Reason for Tato to go mines is because they will scale better later on. Way better than Franks would, for example, especially against Berbers.
Yep.
But he needs to find a way to survive that opening.
And as you mentioned, this map is literally impossible to wall because of the rocky terrains surrounding the forest, right?
Mm-hmm.
You cannot build anything there. However, Daud, do you see the potential walls Viper could do, which I'm seeing right now?
Of course, he had a map where he can fully wall.
He can fully wall. He can fully wall.
There is no gold back, so it's not that important.
There is a gold pick.
I am looking at the map.
Yeah. Like he can fully wall here. If he walls from this side here, on top of the gold, to the berries, to the south, to the houses.
It's a bit of a wall. Like we have here zoomed out, so it's shorter, but
yeah. But it is in theory possible. And Tata on the other side, his map looks pretty nice as well. I mean, he has saved.
It's forward, gold forward berries.
Yeah, but he has saved woodline, right? You can easily defend the front here with the tower.
Okay, moving on. I do agree that
Daud just gave me the face of you have no idea what you're talking about.
Like, it's a really bad map.
Would you say Viper's map is better than Tata's?
Yes, with the save gold, but more important is it was in more. I want to say important again. Need another word. It was more important for Tato to. Yeah, like that. Relevant for Tato to get a good map because he got the slower seal.
Yeah.
And he needs that surviving technique at the beginning.
Yep.
Like Viper doesn't need to wall whole game. He got the scouts. He will control the map with them.
Yep.
He will not probably even think about walls.
Yeah, and obviously the build order indicates that Viper indeed focuses on the stable build, as he has no villagers on gold. On the other side, has he scouted that men-at-arms are about to approach him? Because
Oh
he
no,
didn't see
first
it.
time Viper actually missing it.
See it. So this doubt can be extremely surprising for Viper.
But I mean, it's Viper. He can quick wall around everything.
Is that an
And
archer
he's
range?
Opening range, I believe.
There's an archer range, yeah.
But not villagers on gold yet.
So is
Scrams opening.
That reminds me of MBL against you.
Oh, yeah, that paid off.
So yeah, it is indeed archer range opening.
Let's
And-
see reaction. He wants to block with Eagle. He managed. He managed. Maybe we'll give like the kill, but Berber's villager.
No, no, no. He will not kill it.
Yeah,
Quick
Berber
wall,
villagers
quick wall.
move faster, and
Exactly.
Viper is insane with normal villager.
Yeah.
That's a lot of clicking.
I gotta say, both players do an amazing job here, but
Clicking.
it feels like Tato indeed is capable of getting the villager kill here. Nicely done by him. And the aggression here is very, very strong by Tato, and it really catches off Viper off guard, right? Losing one villager here. And man-at-arms on land matters is not the typical strategy you go for here. Doubt, can you explain why that is the case?
Well, Viper kind of played too much mind games here. He wanted skirms to counter kind of obvious archer opening from Ions. And Tato just went many times to get first map control.
Yep, yep.
And thinking he would be against, well, scouts.
Yeah, so this is a very nice opening by Tato, and obviously he will scale very well with the incoming archers, right? Archers is exactly the unit he wants to go for, and with Mayans, your archers are cheaper, and also the resources last a little bit longer. I think it's 10% more, if I'm not mistaken,
15,
Tato? 15?
maybe.
Like, you have been playing Mayans for 15 years now, or 20.
If you would ask me how much archer costs for mines, I would not know.
Okay, how much does an archer cost?
I don't know.
Yeah, do you think the archer costs the same in Fuel Age as in Cast Age as
No.
in Imperial Age? No.
It gets cheaper.
So, anyway, the men-at-arms at this point are only there to buy Tato a little bit of time. And if you look at it, Tato has a clear lead in terms of economy, right? He has 1.5 villagers more. Obviously, Mayans who start 1 villager more, so that is obvious. And
The
he lost
resources
one.
lasting longer, like you said, is even extra important on this map.
Exactly. What is this building, though? Like, I don't know it.
It's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, it is the biggest feudal age building, a BTC. I don't know. Is it market?
Is it market? Oh. Yeah, and
Boy, oh
obviously
boy,
market.
but will he stick with the crossbow or maybe eagle switch? Feels like crossbow, right?
I think both things work here, honestly. I mean,
think
Berber's
it's more about scouting, but Viper
Your-
will do,
yep.
and then react accordingly.
Yep. I mean, very, very interesting approach by Tato. It's not like he's committing full onto Fuel Age. No, he wants to get Cast Age as soon as possible. So that kind of tells me he wants to go Eagles, but it feels wrong.
I think it depends on the amount of skirms he sees. If he sees like full skirm army, he will go eagles.
Yep. Okay, so men-at-arms are being cleaned up by Viper here, and Tato sold all his soul. So in theory,
Sold his soul.
he sold his soul. So in theory, if there is a lot of pressure coming from Viper onto his gold, doubt I'm a little bit afraid for Tato there in that case. So let's see how good of a job Tato can do to buy himself time with these little units here.
Well, like we said, it's very hard to wall on this map. The only walls you can do are short around the wood lines, and that's no problem for the crossbow.
So the last men-at-arm, I'm really surprised that Viper chases down those men-at-arms still. Like they're not too much of a threat right now. And Tato, man, like Doubt, if you look at it, are you proud of your Tatito?
I will get Leary next on the dark side. He will use Market every single game.
I even was surprised to see Hera using a Mark in the first game. Yeah, I was surprised. by
I
that.
would not push that. Like here, that he
Is he using
wants
Market?
economy.
No, but he doesn't use Market that often, right?
No, no,
because
no, no, no.
he's
Not
very
his style. He's confident in his
Yeah, exactly.
mechanics. I will stop your Market and I will beat you with more TCs then.
Exactly. So he did that first game. That's why I was surprised here. But anyway, Doubt, did you? You know, I know what I'm talking about.
You do?
Yes.
Well, kind of it was a tell that he didn't have the fletching or blacksmith at all. Like if you go Archers, well, you first do fletching and
Yep.
He absolutely ignored the upgrade. He wants full eagle play, and that can be quite bad for against Berbers because of the Chipper Knights, right? But how does
thing
Viper
is,
get to the castle age?
he will not get to castle age. Look, like, how is that even possible, though? Like, his food bank right now is 100. He has 14 on food. Like, he is miles away from castle age. He will have to play full fuel age, doesn't he?
Well, this is somewhat of opening you did against Hera with Saracens, right? You went small fake attack and then switched to fully castle age with Saracens.
Yep.
Similar what Tato is doing here. And in your mind, it's even more annoying because you expect those archers. You'll kind of,
Exactly.
if you make scrum, it's always right. And Viper even opens scrums.
Exactly. And now, upon reaching castle age, Viper, he is for sure not too happy to see that. He obviously knows exactly what is going to hit him right now because, you know, it's not like he has never played against this kind of thing. And Bloodlines has been completed here for Viper.
Doesn't think about castle age anymore.
No, it's going to be full feudal out for him, but even against the Eagle Warriors, it's going to be very tough for those scouts to find any damage here because the Eagles are just so strong out.
And he already got quite a few of them, right?
Yeah.
It's like 12 of them already on the map, which is quite surprising. They take really long time to produce in feudal.
Yeah. This is obviously a very nice catch for Viper. You wanna stall out the gold mining from
No gold, no eagles.
and no eagles here in the front. So that means a lot of idle production time.
Tato is returning the damage at Viper's base, so it's kind of a small trade-based situation. As long Viper keeps the eagle number low, he will be in a decent spot, but how does he keep this low like this? Is such a deadly force.
I'm just amazed by the sheer amount of units Tato has right now. Overall, situation-wise, obviously Tato has been forced away from the gold on the front, but he has one on the left-hand side as well. And as far as I
Arson
know,
upgrade, he really is going for the kill.
Wow. Yeah, the Arson upgrade gives a lot of more damage
Production.
output. A lot more action, a lot of more damage output to the buildings for the infantry units. And that's exactly what Tato is prioritizing right now. And he will be able to repel that army very, very easily. With
Look
the
at the Tato's economy. 0 villages, so gold,
yeah.
everything on 0.
Yeah.
Only one upgrade on the eagles.
Yep.
I think it was too soon for the Arson, to be honest.
I think it's fine.
Well, he's getting those stables, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's fine because like he has the access to the resources again, and I don't expect Viper to cross the other side of the map in the next 5 minutes because it's just so tough for him. He needs to pay full attention now for the defense, and he has 10
Just see this
military.
little fight I have to point out.
Yeah.
On the gold, like Tato find the purpose on those 3 archers to deny the gold, and Viper open the wall, put one skirmish in, close the wall.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Such a small move, but
Yeah.
if he didn't have that one skirmish in, those archers would idle completely the goal.
Exactly. But that honestly, if you look at it, if you have the fuel age player with so few units compared to the cast age player, this is not a good sign, is it?
Yes, but at the same time, his economy is way more efficient. He got farm economy, he got tower defense. He just now needs to survive his way to the castle age. And then, cheap knights, farms will kick in. He just needs to survive next 3 minutes without losing more than 5 villagers, and I think he's in a winning spot actually.
He will go up to cast age now, so he's not too bad off in a position. And oh no, Tato breaks in here, doesn't he?
Arson is actually...
Arson, yeah.
The tower disappeared, right?
Yeah, that is definitely helpful. And I understand the strategical choice. Viper wants to go for a castle, obviously, but Tato, he will deny that idea completely. And what can Viper really go for? He's forcing
Stables,
right?
He really lost to stables. It's like he needs to invest 300 extra wood just to get production back. It's Arson did paid off. Good job, Tato.
Yeah. So I was right?
Tato was right.
Yeah, but I agreed with him. You know, like you were saying, no, it's way too early.
Yeah. I saw only +1 armor. Was thinking Eagles will not be good enough, but Tato knows better, and you agree better.
Yeah, thank you, Daud. And now a second armor upgrade as well for Tato. Like, he has such a big momentum, and he's heavily on stone as well. Like, Daud, I feel like, oh god, I feel like Tato is just one step ahead of Viper here in this game. What do you think?
Villager number is still equal, and Viper is getting the huge resources bank. He's even getting a third stable.
Yeah, but no gold income.
Needs that 1 minute to pass faster than this.
Yeah.
He needs to fast forward this minute.
Yeah. he doesn't have gold income as well. Like 7, yes, but he doesn't have the bank he needs. And work efficiency doesn't look too healthy here for Viper.
He doesn't care about losing those eagles. Everything is idle. He's sniping the villagers. That minute has never been longer.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it's never a good sign if your fuel age and all of your economy is literally idle. And man, unbelievable, unbelievable. Tato really showing up today and giving Viper such a tough time. And you know, Tato, when he saw Viper calling the GG here, I'm not sure if you caught it out, but there was some sort of relief from Tato here.
Well, it's not over yet.
It's not over
yet. There's one more game.
There's one more game.
Prediction.
I think it will be Northern Isles.
Who wins?
Okay, if we
fall here eventually, I'm still like.
This is just a beautiful. Next time we cast together, I'll get more obstacles around you. So just, you know, I have fun. Anyway, matchup. It has to be Dravidians against Portuguese.
Bohemians get chemistry early, then his Garrix are stronger in Castle Age. No? He got both gold upgrades for free. No, Portuguese. Yeah, I guess he gets berries now, gets some wood tickle, cheaper galleys, stronger galleys, extra armor, faster upgrades. It makes sense as well.
So Portuguese or Bohemians?
Yeah, I think Portuguese. And for the Tato?
I mean, Franks, like, you start with a transport ship right away in Dark Age, right? So with the Scout, you have more
also
HP.
get berry bonus as well.
Berry bonus. You have more HP in Fuel Age. So I imagine a world where you pick Franks, Scout into the transport right away, scout the map of your opponent, then follow it up with 2 villagers in Fuel Age, build a stable, and then you have full access to the Frank's strengths.
Like, we are kind of having fun here, but against here, Tato to gods. So I would not completely rule it out.
Yeah, like Northern Isles, I would claim, is one of the most complicated maps we have, maybe even the most complicated ones. Yeah. And we don't have a meta. We don't have a meta, at least I don't. And I'm the meta player. Huh?
I will not tell the meta.
Do you think you know the meta?
No, I think there's too many options, like going front dock, going back dock, viable, going landing, going fast castle, going... Yep. Everything is an option.
Going golf, right? Like,
or just going like full galleys, control the water, and old-fashioned way is an option as well.
And we have the confirmation. I was right with the app guessing. Northern Isles
guessing as well.
So it's Northern Isles, it's confirmed, guys. And indeed, no Franks and no Bohemians. We have Dravidians here for Tato and Portuguese for a blue player, the Viper.
Which civilization do you favor here, actually?
Always Dravidians.
I mean, when they build a dock, you get
5 house
as well.
Yep, yep.
That's quite nice.
Then you have the extra 200 wood you get upon reaching the next age. Then also your fishing boats are more effective as they carry 15 more food. And Viper runs into the DC, loses
so
half of his HP.
Like that scout on this map, it's brutally important.
It's the most important unit.
You need to read what your opponent is doing. And now, Viper will always have to be on the run. Whenever Tato Scout is around, he needs to hide, and that denies a lot of information.
Yeah, and it's like the Scout can always defend. And what do you think?
Can I drink fans, Jordan? It's not that funny anymore. They cannot see it either.
Okay, would you prefer front or back dock?
I always go for the back dock. Because if enemy is landing me, Jordan, stop laughing. If enemy is landing me, I have extra safety. Front dock, I would like only if I go full aggressive, and that's not my style.
Yeah. Okay, so you like to play it a bit more strategically, and Doubt, this is huge.
He lost HP on the scout, and he sniped the villager, denied the dock timing.
And this is
how?
This is the tricky thing, right? Because on this map, in order to build the dock, you have to be kind of downhill, and therefore Viper was able to take advantage of this. And even though, as you mentioned, the scout had only half of HP, it was still able to get the villager. And now we have to take into consideration two things. Not only has he killed the villager, but he also stopped the potential of getting fishing boats out.
And he saved the scout as well.
Yeah, this is obviously a beautiful start for Viper. And now I will return the favor. Which Civ do you prefer here? Because that's not something we have talked about.
I prefer here Portuguese.
Tell us why.
I think the unique unit is super strong, but it will take a really long time to kick in. There is a more time in early game in Castle Age. Like, for example, Portuguese in Castle Age can go Monk and Siege push. Both units are cheaper, and it's very deadly. Like, Portuguese got more bonuses working for them faster. I think if the game goes to the post-Imperial, even then, Portuguese got Vittoria, right?
They have Vittoria, yes. I just imagine that Dravidians should have the firepower early on to get control of the middle. And just a unique unit, the theories that I doubt of Dravidians is just so extremely strong. I have really a lot of respect for those. And the fact that Portuguese lack the fast fire, is it called fast fire? I think it's fast fire unit, definitely doesn't help Portuguese here as well against the theories that die. And yeah, looking at the game, both players up to feudal age.
But oddly enough, Tato is one with the back dog, and and he's landing. Oh, don't block yourself. This is a really good move.
What is the likelihood of Viper scouting that? Viper smiling.
Knows.
Viper smiling. Why is he smiling?
Huh? Yeah. Probably big ship still.
What?
What?
Viper has this. No way!
What's happening on my screen? There is nothing.
What is the chances? What is the likelihood that your opponent builds? Why are you looking at my screen?
Because I didn't see anything special on mine.
Like, give me some space. Tato built a dock between Viper's dogs, and Viper he does not see it.
And he passed next to the house just outside of the line of sight.
What is the likelihood for that?
Viper 0.
Like, it's close to 0, right?
Look at the gold spot, like one tower there. It removes this gold, gives you presence on the map where your both lumber camps are. If this goes unnoticed, I'm worried for Viper.
100%. And he has also all his resources on the left-hand side. So if Tato is able to surprise him here, then this is going to be very, very good news here. Don't tell me he doesn't see this dog. He does. Okay.
Obviously.
Wow, I would have blown up right now.
Viper is going galleys. He's going
The burst unit for this.
He's going the most meta macro. Like, if you play super solid, it's the best opening. But how do you stop landing and out micro fire galleys on the water? If he does that,
he deserves the win.
He deserves more than a win. It's almost impossible.
It's super, super tough. I think the follow-up has to be the fire galleys for him. There is a tower being built right now for Tato. He has to counter tower here.
Does he see that?
Viper has to counter tower. Yeah,
now, you know, like the Viper, I make it tower. Like.
Yeah. But don't you want to build a counter tower?
His scout got more HP and he got arch out. Fletching is still not on the way and doesn't even have food for that.
Yeah. Now the fishing boats are running, so that's obviously a good thing for Viper, as Tato doesn't have the food income from those fishing boats. So we will see his TC idle time increasing there. And yeah, the tower goes up, but
important momentum for Viper. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, it's just insane for him.
Complete deny. Like, if this wasn't noticed for 20 more seconds and if he gets 3 archers, tower up, that's his whole economy.
Disaster, right? But with the scouting, he was obviously on point here. And also one thing that we haven't mentioned, we obviously know it, but the
10%?
War galley or warships is the right word, of Portuguese have 10% more HP. So in each 1v1 fight situation, they're always going to come out ahead on this one. And right now,
super important for Fire Galley War. Like,
yeah,
normal Galley against Galley, they miss you micro, but Fire Galley always hit, and they 1v1 matchup. It's like Byzantines, they will always win, and after that you repair and you didn't do anything.
Yeah, so this is a very good scenario for Viper. And Tato, you know, he was obviously trying to do something very sneaky, and this is a nice blocking here by Viper. Is he going to be able to pick off this fire galley? It would be a huge pick off indeed, and the fishing, but this is just beautiful to watch, isn't it? And is Tato going to be able to run away with this one? No, it's going to get killed here, and that means overall Viper has a little advantage in terms of the military count. He also has 2 economy units more, but obviously though this is just a very small thing overall. I would still claim the situation is somewhat equal. I would give the favor to Viper just because of the fact that his work efficiency is just a little bit higher if we take into consideration the fishing boats. What do you think?
He reacted perfectly so far. Maybe slightly lucky with the good scouting, maybe just an amazing game sense. We will have to ask him after. But overall, problem is both of them still have a transport, so you never stay behind walls. I assume the next move from Viper would be adding up 3-4 archers, transporting to the Tato where he doesn't have any defense. Or stone for a tower.
Do you think Viper will assume that there is going to be a backdog from Tato on his
That
base?
sneaky dog. Those fishing ships will be alive for a long time. That's
Oh!
I couldn't even see on the minimap. Everything is blue there.
No, you don't know nothing.
Did you see? Did you debate me into that one?
Yeah. Because obviously Viper and I talked about the fact that Tato did a little bit of slip-off against Hera by not placing the dock in the back right away. And now he did it, so, he knows.
Such a good awareness by Viper. Like, perfect play so far. I think he didn't slip away on this game single time, and it's
he did not.
really hard to play against this style. Like, you need to always react, always be on point. If you misjudge, even like your castle each time need to be equally fast. If you're 1 minute slower, he got siege workshop, monastery in your base. Oof, don't want to be in that spot.
However, he has still a very good presence on the map in the front, so that tower is going to deny the lumber camp. And if I'm not mistaken, it should be far enough to also take away the gold from Viper as well, if I'm not mistaken. Doubt you have better eyes than me. Counting tiles.
They will not take, but in Castle Age for sure, right?
Yeah, for sure. And if you look at the resources, Viper is definitely a bit closer, going up to Castle Age.
Not if the market pops out.
Does any one of them have the market yet? I don't think so, do they? Oh, Viper has it. Okay. Tato, what about Tato? Does he have the market? Oh, Doubt, I think you have to have
the
talk
archers
with
kick
him.
in. Like,
yeah, this is...
Viper is completely open at home. I mean, Tato.
This is beautiful for Viper, and this is, I would say, the biggest weakness of going for a landing with an archer range, because that exposes yourself at home very much. So if you want to go for something like that, you need to ensure that you have either an archer range back at home to defend yourself, or you fully wall yourself, and that is very hard to do.
That starting transport is such an amazing addition to the island.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Like, landing is obviously super powerful, but it gives you exposure at home.
Yeah.
Now, well, that's a bit of
that
waste.
is such a Doubt move.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I love that one. I meant like garrison the village in that.
Killing those archers, right?
Yeah,
I'll be in DC one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so we see Doubt's favorite building being planted down now as well by Tato. However, Doubt, Viper up to Castle Age faster with 5 more economy units, with, I would say, map presence as well in terms of the water. And I'm pretty sure he should switch to either a siege workshop or stables, because he should be able to afford some knights as well, don't you think?
Portuguese is such amazing too. Like, even your knights are slightly cheaper. It's like, and he does hit the villager lead.
And one important factor as well, they get the extra wood tickle by getting the berries as well. And that is not too bad as well, don't you think?
Yeah, that basically gives you a free TC.
Exactly. And how does Viper always find the dock positions of Tato? Like, how? Doubt how?
It's so stressful to watch. Like, what Tato is doing is so hard to stop because he's all over the map.
Yes.
And Viper needs to have such a good map awareness to find all those spots and even goes to the middle TC.
Do you like
Amazing
that move?
play.
Do you like that?
Yeah, this guy should have been in finals.
Why is he not?
There was a young player that I lost to as well.
Okay. Well, anyway. Castle Age up on.
What are those towers? Like, I know he wants to secure the spot, but triple tower.
I think it's a little bit of an overcommitment, isn't it?
He probably counted that even Botkin will not hit the gold.
Yeah, exactly. And now with the siege workshop and the 2 stable play, Doubt, who said he's going to go for stables?
Onegas are also cheaper for Portuguese.
Yeah.
I start to love that team more and more.
Yeah, it's really amazing. We see the...
He spots those sneaky dogs now. I mean, he spots that time out with it.
Yeah, it's just beautiful to witness what both players are providing onto the table here for us right now. And this is obviously, Northern Isles many people think it's a water map.
He
It
spotted.
is. He spots that. He spotted it. Man, his scouting is really on point.
Everything is shut down with Tato tries to do. Everything.
It's just on point. It's like, in this case, he is one step ahead, and I love the move to add the two knights first to be aggressive instead of playing it as a defensive, because the two knights don't add too much value in the base as a defensive tool anyway. And
He's not repairing the mangonel. Okay, in time now.
like, it also is cheaper to repair the mangonel.
Is it? Oh, you was a gym, so.
I'm pretty sure.
Who knows?
Right? Pretty sure. I'll just make that statement here. And Doubt, if you look at the food count right now for Tato, that does not look too healthy, does it?
Not at all. Only 5 with some food as well. His economy upgrades well. Viper doesn't have the second wood upgrade yet as well. But he is also present in the middle. He defended in the land. He's landing with the knights. He shut down every sneaky dog. And Tato is just like, what do I do?
You know, this is the interesting thing. Like, we see the game. We see 5, 6 potential situations where a complete disaster could have happened for Viper. But we see every single situation. He finds the right answer to everything Tato is throwing at him. And that is exactly the reason why he's in such good of a position. And Doubt, do you see the upgrade Tato is going for?
Ooh, that's a smart move. Like, this is typical Tato against Viper matchup. Tato outside the box, thinking so many strategies, pushing so many angles with a unique way, like guard towers, sneaky dogs here, his island, sneaky dog, 2 sneaky dogs on his island.
Yeah.
And Viper, it's not luck, it's absolute. It might feel like a luck that always be on the spot.
Yep.
If you're always in the right spot at the right time, it's not luck.
Yeah.
It's a skill.
Yeah, it is definitely a skill. Do you like the upgrade here? I personally
Absolutely
don't like
I mean, he will remove the gold, he will stabilize that position, the mangols are shut down, he will have that little corner for himself as a potential push, maybe in later Castle Age or early Imp.
The thing is, your opponent has 2 stables already. He has a Siege Workshop, and you don't have a Siege Workshop yourself, right? So it's very easy to push into that.
In
Build
theory,
a
a few rams and knights could
I'd
clean that
just
up,
clean it up, right?
but it's also quite expensive, right?
Yeah, but you can utilize those knights to offensive tools as well, then with the landing. So I think it's not justified, but okay, he has decided to do so, and we also, like, it's not a clear answer if it was
Playstyle, like I like
Yeah.
what he's doing, you prefer, I like my style is similar to the Tato series, to the Viper, and that's how we like to play. We see the game slightly differently.
Exactly. 64 population against 77. We have better economy for Viper, 62 or 63 economy units
And
against
one
the
cap is for
50.
Tato. Yes, he found his way for to counter the knights.
Yeah, it's not in the front, so it will be defensively. And going
Sneak
to
dog number 2 on the same spot.
will he see that though with the fire gun?
Of course he will. Now this is luck.
Yeah, okay, it is.
Sometimes maybe. Oh, but he had conversions.
I
The
think he will at
HP
least get
upgrade
one.
did
We'll
not
get at
finish.
least- Was that good, Doug?
Delete both.
Was that good?
What?
Do you do that? Yeah, I think it makes sense. Overall, 9. Yeah, that is the biggest issue for Tato right now, right? He has 3 TCs, yes. However, the food income he has right now does not support the production he wants to go for.
He lost the fusion chips early as well. I
Lost it,
think
yeah.
Viper, yeah, he still got 8 fusion chips. He even add 5 more.
Yeah. So this is just a very close game. Viper definitely on their better position.
Cavalry Archer, let's go.
Cavalry Archer for the win. And that is always going to be very annoying for the monks here. And
their
is that
chip
conversion going to happen? No. Oh, and you can also see on Tato's face, he was not too pleased by that action at all. And yeah, the Cav Archers are going to wreak some havoc here.
Like, Tato did the short walls around the woodline to stop knights, but
Yep.
Cavalry Archer for the range.
Exactly. And Tato, he does not expect that one at all. He has spears, yes,
This will
but
be brutal.
this is a lot of idle time. A lot of villagers will go down in the process as well. 3 at least, I would assume so. And yeah, the CA, it's not like a big commitment as well. Like, Tato is really struggling to find the right answers here. And Viper, he's just having the best game of his life, hasn't he, Doubt?
He's playing absolutely perfect. This Tato, through even the castle here, like Viper is playing insanely good here. And if it was any other map, you maybe would even think it's enough, I can resign.
Yeah.
But on other type of map, when you have such a strong unique ship,
Yeah.
like, it doesn't matter if enemy has a huge villager lead, it usually ends up that every resource on the map is chopped out. And if you have a better unit, which I think Tato does, he still got a chance.
Yeah, most of the time on this map we see obviously a lot of action happening in the beginning, but at the end of the day everything ends up in on water in a pre-age. So it is very likely that we will see something like that in this game as well. However, now with the castle placed beautifully, positionally in as a defensive tool for Viper, he's going to be able to kill those 2 guard towers without any problem. And now do you see it in pre-age coming in for Viper as well. While Tato on the other side, he is right now with nothing of food in the bank.
Yeah.
And this is not a good position.
Problem is like the unique unit we are talking about for the Radiance, that it's super strong, is only being able to produce once you hit Imperial Age.
Exactly. And it's very expensive as well. So you can only afford it if you have a very healthy economy. And that's not the economy Tato has right now. Obviously, he will get there eventually after 4 or 5 minutes. Or will he?
Be aggressive.
Will he?
Now my turn, Tato.
Yeah.
And that's both goal spots. The TC will be denied.
Yeah.
Will Tato get the lucky to see this with the skirms? Even if he does, he cannot stop that.
Exactly, and it doesn't look like he's going to be able to see that. And you know, when you build a castle and it is about to finish and your opponent is building a TC at that moment as well, that's always going to be a beautiful moment for you as the castle player. And now with Portuguese, they have so many tools handed to them as well. On land, if you go for chemistry, you have access to the bomber cannon. With the Orient guns, obviously, you're going to be able to apply a lot of pressure as well. And yeah, I think Tato, that's not the game he wants to play right now, though.
No, it's not. And also, since a few patches ago, Cannon Galleons can be produced quite fast now. Doesn't require the unique upgrade.
Exactly, you only need chemistry in order to have access to that, literally. And do you like the fact that Tato is adding the docks right now? I understand that he feels...
What does he do? Like, he cannot land, he cannot. He has to make some movements.
Yeah, it's just very tough for him right now to find the right answer to that. And I honestly don't think there is a right answer right now. Like, Viper is just all over the place. He has the right answers for everything. And doubt he even goes for a castle in the middle. This will cement his position on the map.
Such a solid, like, not as this is like, if you want to learn how to play this map, you know this game.
And Viper
good job,
able to clinch the victory here over Tato. But honestly, doubt it was an absolute masterpiece by both players. I did not expect this one to be that close.
Third place matches are not good. You said that like this was a really good match. Like it was amazing match. Like Clash of the Styles going to the last game.
Yeah.
And Viper absolutely clean, amazing last game.
And we can see here both
and they get to
players,
hug as well.
of course.
Like, hug as well.
Doubts. Like this was such a beautiful cast. It was an absolute pleasure to be here with you. And let's not forget about it. Doubt we casted our teammates, and I promise it will be different.
Next time you will cast me. I think guys in the suits now want to take over as well.
So where I was heading was that the both of us play on stage instead of them, and they cast us. But you know, Out doesn't support me, guys.
Yeah, we will play. They will cast us. Actually, I would love that.
You know,
I would. We would do some stupid games like Village of War, and they need to cast that as well.
that
would give me deal just to
that
deal
would
them.
be funny. Yeah, but oh well, that's how it is.
Yeah.
Was a beautiful set, 4-3 once again, and this is exactly what we were hoping for.
Amazing set. Both deliver. Unfortunately for the third place, but both played amazing and got to be proud about their performance in this event.
Yeah, and we talked about it. That it could have easily been the grand finals of this tournament as well. Both players just absolutely beasting it. But yeah, it's the way it is. And that, you know, I'm wondering, we will have for the finals Hera against Larry. What is your prediction for that one? Because it's going to be a best of 9, so we will see a lot of games here.
And that's also kind of clash of the styles. Larry with more like archer-oriented, Hera more knight stable units. Yeah. And obviously his famous Hussars, right?
Yeah.
Will be really, and it's best of 9, right?
It's best of 9.
We will probably see the CS we will never see the go.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think?
No, listen, never listen. I have problems, I have issues like that. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, what is your...
It will be a long series. We will see more series because usually now best of 5, best of 7, slightly shorter series.
Yep.
Now we will see maybe even Burmese, maybe even bigger tiers, right? Not only those top tiers that kind of get repetitive now.
Okay, Daud, we have to come to an end. Final prediction.
I like them both. Man will get mad if I predict, but let's make it 5-4 Leary. We celebrate tonight that Trisha plays.
Okay, I will go for 5-2 Hera because he's been playing very, very dominant, and I think this is his tournament. Anyway, guys, it was a pleasure to be here. Daud, thank you so much again.
Thank you for coming, Jordan.
Thank you. And we will throw over to the stage, to Ellie, for the winner's interview. Take care, guys.
Thank you, Jordan. And well casted, Jordan and Daud. Always a pleasure to hear you two. But more importantly, now, Viper, congratulations, taking it to the final game 7. And what a game it was. There were lots of angles Tato was attacking from. Did you expect his sneak docks? Did they catch you off guard?
Tato on that type of map always does something sneaky, so like just got to keep my eyes open from the start. I got a good scout. I mean, I got off to a really good start, picking off his villager on the dock, so that was perfect for me. And from there, it was just about keeping it cool, keeping it steady, and making sure I don't get caught off guard by something.
Were you a little caught off guard, the guard tower upgrade?
No, I know my Tati.
Well, it was really well defended. And what do you think really was the key to your 7th win, or the 7th game win?
I think just minimizing the damage I took, make some small counterattack, win the water, and just steady the ship so I could get to the Imperial Age with a better economy. And I think Portuguese are better in late game as well, potentially. So, yeah.
Okay. One of my favorite games that you had was game 5 here on Atacama, Khmer versus Japanese. I know Khmer is one of your favorite civs. It's really, really strong. Tato looked like he was really out of the game early on, but he really hung in there. What do you think it was that made you not finish the game as early as you wanted to?
I think I stopped making units at some point. I got my thesis and castle in the middle, and then I kind of stopped producing units on the side. So he was able to get some damage in there, but I still feel like my eco was just already ahead, and I had so many villas on the wood in the middle, so I could just start farming like a madman and then make a night switch. And yeah, it worked out how I wanted, but it was still a bit dicey.
And that game on Gold Rush with all of the castles in the center, Byzantines versus Tatars, run us through your thoughts real quick in terms of how your strategy was and what went wrong there.
I felt like my opening was better, but I made my castle a little bit too late, and he had monks left over, so he could use the monk trick to idle my villagers when we were racing castles. No, he just got the castles up where he needed. If I had one castle in the middle before he came to build his castle, then I think I would have had a good shot. But yeah, once those 2 castles got up, I knew it was going to be tough.
Well, it was really, really close set, and we see that going to the final game. What a series. But Viper, super well played this whole tournament. It was an absolute pleasure to watch you, and it is the Orders and my pleasure here to gift you, to bestow this trophy upon you onto your ever-growing trophy shelf. Congratulations, Viper.
Thank you very much.
Viper, would you like to say anything else to the fans watching and here and at home?
Yeah, just awesome to see so many people already here. I think it will come even more today. I think we're going to have a banger of a finals. I really appreciate everyone showing up. And see some familiar faces I've seen before, a lot of new faces. That's also awesome because it just shows that there's so many people that want to be a part of these events. And yeah, so big shout out to the Order of the Sheep as well for arranging this. And yeah, just the whole Age of Empires community is amazing, and it shows time and time again.
Thank you and congratulations again. Really well played. Artosis, let's hear some more insights.
Thank you very much, Ellie. What a series, guys, going all the way to Game 7. Did you think it was going to be this close?
Oh, I kind of suspected, right? I predicted 4-2, but Tato bringing another level today. I thought we saw some ingenious moves from Viper, especially on that arena game, just even the civilization pick, right? Gujaras against Turks. He's finding the Turk weaknesses there. And Tato just making things scrappy, right? And look at that Land Madness game, just all in military, getting arson so early so he can demolish the buildings. It was a really interesting set, and I think, honestly, that's the best third place set we've ever had. let alone the stakes, which was $4,000, and the trophy, which is going to help balance that trophy shelf for Viper, right? Maybe a little bit skewed towards the first place section. You can put a counterweight now on the third place. But yeah, they really showed up.
I don't know if he's going to agree with you on that one. I think he wants as few third-place trophies as possible. But let's go ahead and take a look at a recap from that series and kind of go over what was happening at the end of each of those games.
Alrighty, guys, so a super close set, as we've been saying. Starting here, though, in game number 1, this was all about the aggression that we saw. Aztecs versus Lithuanians trying to take the best fights possible with the Knights and against the pikemen and monks, but at the end of the day, it just becomes really difficult to be cost efficient.
And I think Tato had an opportunity here. Earlier on in the game, when Viper was going up to the Castle Age, Tato had a huge army there. Viper defended so well early, and then he transitioned in the Castle Age so much earlier than Tato. This one, Britons against Huns, always going to be tough for the Huns if you get on the back foot. Tato put Viper on the back foot really early, and his eco got ahead. He added the second and third TC before University and Ballistics, and he just carried that forward.
Yeah, it's always nice to see Britons really play that economic archer style, especially versus Huns, because if Huns are stuck defending, then they can't really outmaneuver Britons with their mobility, with the cav archers, with knights possibly. Huns just that don't like defending, they like attacking, and Viper wasn't really allowed to do that in that second game.
Yeah, and this is the beautiful one, right? Viper, we thought he was going to pick Bohemians. Tato picked Turks. Viper ends up going for Gajaras. And the way he set up his economy, getting even the shields for or frontier guards, rather, for the Gajaran camels, and then losing 20 of them, immediately having 50 more about 2 minutes later. It was crazy. And Tato, delaying that heavy cav archer upgrade, kind of cost him a little bit. He couldn't clear up the camels early enough, and there's no solution right here.
Absolutely not. Those Gajura camels are cheap, they produce quickly, and can overrun cav archers. But here, back going over to Gold Rush, things look possibly a bit dicey as the cav archer numbers were growing for Viper. He also took the middle faster, but it's not about how quickly you take it, it is about when you take it. And by the time that Tato took the middle, he has the extra HP on his buildings. He can overwhelm with the cheap camels, and that is exactly what we saw.
Yeah, and you heard Viper say it, right? His castle timing was a little bit too late, and it was maybe 30 seconds too late. Tato will punish you for that. He had the double castle stack. It was really interesting. We have 4 castles all in the same area up there. He also found himself an area to sit with those trebs to not be shooting from downhill. Then we go on to Atacama. Tato, I thought, was out of this game really, really early, but he managed to pull himself back.
Yeah, it ended up being a much closer one, going for the cav archers there at the end, trying to outmaneuver Viper with the raids, but just Viper's economy is absolutely massive here. He's like 50 villagers ahead, and having control of the middle with the castles, just way too much going for him, and Viper was able to take that one.
He had 62 farms there at the end with Gamera. That's Harris style. And then this is the game we were talking about before, right? Tato, he idled this TC there once he got to Castle Age. He was so much faster to Castle Age. He kept producing the Eagles, even getting Arson, like we said, to take out the stable earlier. He took out towers, he took out mining camps. He just kept running in with the Eagles. He wasn't thinking about his economy. He was thinking about snowballing. Look at that, almost 6 minutes of idle TC time into a 23-minute game. So Tato really putting the pressure on Viper, and Viper couldn't handle it.
Just not able to get to the Castle Age in that one. Then, of course, our final game on Northern Isles, Viper getting the early villager snipe at the dock, having that lead. Tato going with the forward, but Viper able to defend, get a better economy, take control of the gold in the middle of the map, and eventually it just became too much with the strength of his navy over Tato.
And it's crazy too, right? Because Tato had that sneak dock, Viper was going galleys, which is notoriously weak to a dock that is really close, right? Tato had fires coming out from there, but maybe Tato tried to do a little bit too much with the sneak dock and the archer range at the same time, and then the tower on the gold. And there's the hug between these two. I mean, Tato, he showed that yesterday maybe was just an off day for him. Maybe Hera was playing at an insane level, which we knew he was. He got swept, and then today he takes Viper to 7 games. I mean, it's super impressive.
Yeah, that was just such a fantastic series. Great to see Viper finish in that top 3 once again, but not going to be taking down this S-tier LAN event a couple in a row that he's going to miss out winning.
Yeah, it's certainly a bit unfortunate for him. I know he'd, of course, want to win, but still getting that 3rd place, it's just a nice performance here, and you can at least go out of the tournament on a bit more of a positive note. You know, you're ending on a win and not a loss, so it's okay for Viper.
And $4,000 more in your pocket, right?
That's all right.
$14K is not bad for a weekend of playing video games.